Ladies and gentlemen, as you all very well know,
Oh no!
Ah, roll the music. Cap, your 30 seconds is about to be up.
For our first ever cold open, you know what? It's exactly how the Raw Ball podcast cold open should be.
I
Ladies
cut
and
my
gentlemen,
the roads and my internet cuts out. What the fuck?
welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to week 6 of the Raw Ball podcast. I'm Matty Laws, the purveyor of shit bets, and March Sadness hit better, joined by everybody's big little brother D and the captain, handsome personified, Brandon. How are we doing today, guys?
Doing well. Doing well.
Oh boy.
And David, as always, first mention, love you, brother, and I'm doing pretty damn well today. How are you doing, David?
Start my new job Wednesday.
Attaboy.
That's big news. All right. So, as we all know, it's been a pretty busy week for the Raw Ball boys between having to keep
Busy
constant.
weekend.
Yeah, let's say good weekend, busy weekend, keeping constant eyes on Aaron Rodgers' watch, which hopefully finally ended.
At this point, I don't know if Maddie has gotten any sleep because he has just been. He and Tom Grossi have just been refreshing Twitter every 5 seconds.
And not only that, there's been a lot of other NFL free agency news. Adam Thielen to the Panthers, which is a big deal. Panthers are seeming to reload this year. But we'll probably start off today with, we'll call it March Sadness today.
Let's.
Our bracket kind of went
We had a
down the
good.
shitter.
Well, Monday was kind of 50-50, or probably not Monday. Thursday, was kind of 50-50. We lost some guys. Then Friday, Saturday, we had a damn nice run, and then yesterday.
Friday we hit. I made $300 back on Friday.
Hell yeah.
And then it was Saturday sadness. or Sunday
Saturday
sadness for us.
Yeah.
Sunday sadness.
Yeah. Sunday's
So
when it all went down the hill.
so let's get into it. I've got our bracket pulled up here. So Alabama, obviously, they cleared their first two hurdles.
Yeah, which fairly easy for Bama to do, but
San Diego State did us proud. They cleared their first two. Then along came Furman.
yeah, Virginia, the third game of the night, just absolutely killed us. We knew it was gonna happen with Virginia, but we just didn't expect it to be to Furman.
We just refused to take our medicine, boys. We just refused to learn our lesson and take our medicine. Never bet on Virginia. They are gonna fucking choke. And then along came Creighton,
Yeah,
who we picked. You know,
Creighton,
Baylor
that was a big
dispatched
surprise.
UCSB. Missouri, won their first round. Then the Princeton Tigers.
What happened here? Arizona was the second seed.
I don't want to. Let's. Obviously, it wasn't a level of talent. It was a level of give a fuck. And Princeton took advantage of a team that completely overlooked them. And yes, Dave, we're going to get into the baseball a little bit later on. Looking forward to the draft this Saturday. So let's go down here to the one that really gave me a case of the red ass. Farley Dickinson upsets number one Purdue, one of our Final Four teams.
Me and Devin had to go through and go, who the fuck is this college?
Where the fuck is this college?
Typically, when the state or the city is not in the name of the college, you know they are from the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah, we did our research. FDU, that was the Madison, New Jersey college, correct, Devin?
Yep.
If you guys got a chance to see the rounds through Twitter, Reddit, wherever, we had a nice screenshot of the whiteboard in Purdue's locker room after that game. And boys weren't happy. Boys were not happy.
I would not be happy either. See, I far more expected better out of Purdue than I did Arizona. Because
100%.
Purdue has been top notch all season. Arizona has been really damn good, but
they showed how, like, in the game with Princeton, like they showed that throughout the season.
Yeah, Purdue though was the top seed and had been one of the top teams in college basketball all year. Arguably could have been the number one seed if not for Alabama.
Yeah,
that was the one that blew my mind. Nothing else got blown, so I didn't have a smile on my face.
Honestly, we had quite a few upsets. Iowa State losing to play in Pittsburgh.
That we also predicted, though.
That was a big one that we predicted.
Duke took over Oral Roberts. We had Tennessee. We had Kentucky, Kansas State, Michigan State, Marquette first round. We missed Boise.
Northwestern beat Boise. A lot of people, and I didn't know this before going in, a lot of people had Grand Canyon to beat Gonzaga. A lot of people.
Well, so here's the thing: is Gonzaga has been really good this year, but they haven't been dominant Gonzaga. So that put a lot of doubt in people's mind. But literally, apart from those two big ones, we hit most of our spots in the first round, other than Boise State going over Northwestern.
Yeah, like we said, night two was an absolute hit. We had no misses night two.
So yeah, the first two nights we pretty much we knocked it out of the park. Then along came Saturday.
Wasn't too bad, but then Sunday.
So Bama went over Maryland. San Diego State went over. So we got Bama, San Diego State coming up. Uh, Princeton beat the piss out of Missouri. So they've got
Yeah.
some momentum. So our first big upset in the second round was Baylor losing to fucking Creighton.
Again, another college that we're sitting here going.
Who?
Baylor was one of those teams that are like they're a shoo-in to possibly make it to the Final Four if they can beat Bama.
Actually, David, I think it was what was it, University of American Samoa that Jimmy McGill, aka Saul Goodman, graduated from. Not you can research that, effort that as you please.
Better call Saul.
So FAU took out Farley Dickinson that took out Purdue. We had Tennessee over Duke. We hit there. Kansas State over Kentucky.
Michigan beating Marquette was a big one that we
Yeah.
lost.
That fucked us because Marquette was one of our final. Actually, no, they were an Elite Eight for us.
Yeah, they were going to lose to Purdue for us.
So then we had UCLA top Northwestern. Gonzaga took out TCU as we predicted. Then St. Mary's bit the bullet against UConn. And then my Arkansas Razorbacks.
Let's give you a chance to actually cut this promo real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, they used to call them hogs, but now they call them just a pack of rabid dogs, baby, because 3 straight years they go on to the Sweet 16, and 2 straight years they beat the number 1 team in their bracket, baby, the Arkansas Razorbacks. They are alive and well, and they are bringing the clubber in the March Madness tournament, and now they go on to face the UConn Huskies, baby, and it is going to be a wild ride. This team, Eric Musselman, what can you say about him, baby? Baby, the greatest motivating coach in all of college basketball right now, baby. We are on a roll. We may have had a little bit of a side track, but now we are going to keep rolling because the Razorbacks are getting it together. We're going to be getting it on, baby, and we causing some hard time for the UConn Huskies, baby.
Fuck yes. Now we had to. Me and Devin had to call Cap because
yes,
when we last checked, Kansas was putting the hurting on Arkansas.
Kansas was up by 10 points with 10 minutes left. And that was when I was like, well, this is fucking done. And I started playing MLB The Show. Then just for pure shits and giggles, I checked my phone. I was like, what the fuck? Pause the game, grab the remote, CBS, and I get a call from these 2 jabronis.
How loud was Fayetteville that night?
Fuck, I could hear chants and cheers coming like from. Well, Maddie knows where I live. Directly across the street is a sports bar called JJ's. It's right next door to Sassy's Barbecue, where we picked up the takeout for the AEW pay-per-view. I could hear the cheers coming from across the street at JJ's.
That's insane.
You know, thank God I was well stocked that night with alcohol, because had I decided to go out, because I went out on St. Patty's Day early in the night, like 5:30, 6 o'clock, to Foghorns, my favorite hangout, Foghorns, Green Acres, Fayetteville. Love you. I couldn't get a seat at the bar, and it was 5:30 on St. Patty's Day. They had 3 bartenders working the bar. One of them, a good friend of mine, Melanie Bridle. She said from 11 o'clock until 6 p.m. when she clocked out, her tabs totaled $2,000 just at the bar alone. And they had 3.
I would pay good money to have you and Alex Pulowski from Fightful Sour Graps on a show together.
Dusty meets Jesse the Body. Hey, I'm a huge Jesse Ventura fan, so hey, bring it on. But yeah, let's just say Cap didn't go out this weekend. He stayed in and got appropriately liquidated because St. Patty's Day weekend in a college town, fuck that. You ain't getting anywhere. And then Arkansas won that night, and it was like, fuck it, I'm staying home. I ain't getting out in the middle of this shit.
I was about to say, one of those nights that they should have probably greased the poles out in Arkansas, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear of any injuries or deaths, but, you know. So Texas took out Penn State, as we predicted. Xavier over Pitt. Indiana fucked up and got blitzkrieg in Miami.
That was one of the ones that we were talking about last week too. Was Miami could easily just pull that one out.
But that was a coin toss for
I
us.
think I went Miami and you guys both went for Indiana. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Houston decimated Auburn. So
as we expected.
That lines up the Sweet 16 starting on Thursday. So
and I have a Money Madness parlay for that, so I'll pull that up so you can see the games.
Okay, so here are the 4 Thursday games in the Sweet 16. FAU and Tennessee, Kansas State, Michigan State, Gonzaga, UCLA. I think that one's going to be a barn burner.
Oh, I think every time they meet, it's almost always in the Elite 8 or the Sweet 16.
And Arkansas, UConn. That's Thursday night, which is going to be pretty tough because Maddie is coming to Fayetteville this weekend for the baseball draft. And Thursday night, I'm going to be scrambling to get the house all cleaned up and get laundry done and everything. But I'm also going to have Arkansas on, so I'm going to be.
Maddie's money is on Arkansas that night, so here's hoping they beat them Huskies.
Well, we really have we don't have a dog in that fight bracket wise anymore because we picked that bracket completely wrong. So at this point, all I can do is cheer for Arkansas.
No, we still got Texas. Texas can still win it for us.
No. That's Thursday. That's Thursday. So Friday, when Maddie lands, we have Alabama, San Diego State, Creighton and Princeton, Houston, Miami, Xavier, and Texas. And I can almost pretty much guarantee if we're not posted up at a bar somewhere watching that, we're going to be down in the rec room watching that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And then obviously Saturday and Sunday will be the Elite 8, the winners of those. So, if Arkansas somehow manages to defeat UConn, that game will actually take place on Saturday. Maddie, if we get Arkansas in the Elite 8 on Saturday night, you realize you and I are going out and we are hitting up the town.
Yeah.
And having some fun. And I can pretty much, with my contacts, get us a nice spot at Buster Belly's to post up and observe the proceedings with some Johnny Cash from the jukebox. Well, actually, no. If it's during the game, they'll shut the jukebox down. But anywho, yeah, Maddie, if somehow Arkansas and UConn are playing on Saturday, if it's a night game, it could be a day game during the draft. Or it could be a night game afterwards. We don't know yet.
It's
Arkansas still has to win. A lot of things still up in the air. A lot of things, this, that, we don't know. We have no idea. Or as Jeffrey Lebowski would say, Mont, this case has a lot of ins and outs, a lot of what have yous. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at least for the Sweet 16. Our bracket that we announced yesterday. So we've still got Alabama alive. We still have Houston and Texas. So there's 3.
I damn near had a stroke searching the NFL free agency.
And then we got UCLA. So of the 16 teams remaining, we have 4 left in our bracket to proceed to the Elite 8.
And we have Bama and
San Diego State, Houston, and UCLA. Those are the 4 teams we have left that we have picked to win. The other ones we just completely fucked. So we got 4 teams left in the tournament to proceed to Saturday and Sunday.
And we have Houston and Bama in the finals.
We've got Bama. Yeah, we got Bama, Houston, UCLA, and Purdue is out. So we've got 3 of our final 4 teams left. So we're sitting in a good spot, but our boys got to come through.
Yeah, no. Sorry to interrupt you earlier. I almost had a stroke. I was searching for the NFL free agency tracker, and the first story that came up was free agency matchmaking, and the first one was Lamar Jackson to the Lions.
No.
When you're scrolling and the first thing you see is Lamar Jackson to the Lions. Man, that scared me a little bit. Not for me, but for Devin.
Well, some minor breaking news that we have. Roger Goodell is apparently in the process of finalizing what will more than likely be his last deal with the NFL before he uh, retires, hopefully.
Hopefully.
But I'm curious what kind of a deal that Goodell is going to get, because the last one he got a private jet and something like $50 million a year. So God knows what he's going to ask for now.
And with Goodell, this year he came out and said he feels confident that this year was the best year of NFL officiating.
And as a wise man once said, you can wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which fills first.
Yeah. With Goodell being in the league, yes, there's been more focus on the safety of the players, which is always a good thing. But there's been so much, like, they're taking away from the game of football with what Goodell's been doing.
So I just saw a story on ESPN. Take a look at this.
That, what did I tell you, Cap? Indy makes sense.
Dev, what are your thoughts on this, my fine feathered Captain Bandana wearing friend?
I cannot see it. I am on my phone. If I try to go into it, I will go bye-bye.
I am pulling it up right now.
A story on ESPN is up there right now. Why Lamar Jackson makes sense to become an Indianapolis Colt.
No.
One word. No.
All right. Here we go.
Hey, Stephen A. Smith is saying it, so.
Oh, fuck him.
All right.
Okay.
Within hours of Baltimore placing the non-exclusive tag on Lamar Jackson on March 7th, reports surfaced that numerous teams had no interest in negotiating. The Colts, who hadn't had a quarterback start consecutive seasons since Andrew Luck in 2015, were not among those teams. Another thing that I pointed out last week.
And this was one that caught my eye as well. Panthers not letting height rule their QB draft with Bryce Young.
They
have the first pick. Bryce Young, what are his measurements? He's 5'10". Well, who else is 5'10"? Russell Wilson.
Kyler Murray as well.
It's 5'8", I thought. I thought Murray was like 5'8", 5'9".
Is Kyler as tall as I am?
Murray's shorter than Russ. Russ is 5'10".
I'm the height of Russell Wilson. Jesus.
And I'm the height of I'm
every
6'4".
defensive linebacker.
We should also bring up the fact that the Panthers are reloading.
And they have the first overall pick.
Yeah, they just got Adam Thielen, too, which is a very solid veteran wide receiver.
It's a good get. I think the contract's it was a 3-year deal, which is a little long for my taste. I'm not sure if there's options in there, but
I don't think it's a.
At the same time, I think that's a good get.
Yeah, here, let me go to the Thielen news real quick.
Yeah, go to that one. We got the March Sadness out of the way. Now we can take a look. Cowboys got Cooks, likely out on OBJ.
Yeah. Texans just got a running back and a tight end as well.
And didn't the Cowboys also just get Gilmore as well?
On Gilmore.
Yep. And staying in the state of Texas, Laramie Tunsil becomes the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL, who used to play for the Miami Dolphins, who would have came in pretty handy to protect, said Tua.
Cap, O.J. Howard signing with the Raiders. Solid tight end from Houston.
How long?
I do not know, but let me.
You can't replace Waller like that.
No, you cannot replace
No.
Darren Waller.
Now, if we draft that kid from Georgia,
Miami has exercised Tua's fifth-year option as well.
yep, I saw that. So they're bringing him back.
All right. The
Lions.
Adam Thielen deal I've got up real quick.
Also, the Eagles re-signed Slay.
Yep.
That's a good keep.
The Saints just got the what's his name from the Lions.
Williams?
Can't remember his name. Yeah.
The running back?
Yep. The one that just broke the Lions record running
for most
for
running touchdowns, I believe.
Oh yeah, I think it was touchdowns.
All right, so so whenever they released Thielen, the Vikings freed up $6.5 million in cap space.
But weren't they one of the teams that were under? Or like they needed to free up the space?
The Vikings, I don't think needed to. Somebody give me his fucking contract. That's all I'm trying to see.
I saw a funny joke running around the Ravens social medias, and it was like, and the Ravens have signed absolutely fucking nobody.
Well, you guys can't.
And I saved it because it
was Maddie, the Rockies have made a move.
Is it a good move?
The Rockies aren't the smartest, so we'll see.
Shush. All right, Adam.
The only really good Colorado teams are the Avalanches and Nuggets.
3 years, $25 million, $14 million guaranteed, and $10 million in that first year.
Oh,
so it's
a hefty deal.
It's a good deal for like the first year to guarantee him money for that first season. That way, he doesn't necessarily have to like. If he doesn't want to play those rest of those seasons, he can be like, "Hey, we can restructure. I've got my $10 million from that first season." If he wants to retire after 2 seasons.
Jurickson Profar from the Padres to the Rockies.
That's a good deal.
He hit 243 last year with 15 homers, 58 RBIs, and a 723 OPS.
He's a very solid contact guy. Very good feet, too. He's very good in the field.
Let's see. I remember Profar because he came up through the Rangers organization. Profar is 30 years old, which is odd because I thought he was a hell of a lot older than that. But yeah, that is the latest signing for the Colorado Rockies.
And they just traded Ramiel Tapia to the Red Sox this last
year,
I believe. Oh, it's Raimel?
Raimel Tapia.
I thought it was Ramiel. Anyway,
I think it's either.
With him going to the Sox, they needed like a replacement in that outfield, and Profar should be able to help with that.
Let's see here. Let's see, what was I looking at here? I was taking a look at MLB news. Obviously, one of the headlines that Maddie mentioned. Jose Altuve catching a pitch during the World Baseball Classic. Broken right thumb, is going to be out for approximately 6 to 8 weeks, from what I understand. So that'll put his return
it's
roughly
just enough to ruin the first couple weeks of opening baseball.
Yeah, I mean he'll probably be back somewhere mid to late May. Broken thumb.
And that's what I was talking about, David, is he still got those speed on those bags.
Well, yeah, and Profar can also play multiple spots, which he's one of those guys who brings like 3-4 different gloves to him with him to the ball club or to the ballpark every day. So Profar, I like his glove more than his bat.
Yeah, he's definitely lost his contact over the last few years.
Well, something, and we can bring this up since we just hit on this. The idea of Major League Baseball players playing in the World Baseball Classic. So we've had 2 major injuries so far we've had Edwin
Diaz
Diaz, the closer for the New York
wearing
Mets,
his PCL.
out for the year. And then we've got Jose Altuve, the starting second baseman for the Houston Astros, out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Both guys who just got paid this last year, didn't they? I know Diaz just got his bag, but Altuve,
Diaz just got his. I think Altuve was already on a long-term deal because he had made his bank in like 2016, 2017. He was already on a fairly long-term, which could be, but I don't see Houston dealing him anytime soon because he's arguably the face of the franchise, apart from uh, Verlander, who's gone now. I mean, Altuve's been there for forever. But yeah, I was having this discussion in our baseball chat last night. Should now I'm not talking about triple A, double A, single A.
Damn, Danhausen really been doing his work for years then.
Well, Danhausen's a Tigers fan, so that does not shock me. But I was having this discussion last night, and you guys can chime in on this how you think. Should guys who are signed on the 26-man MLB roster, like the main guys on the roster, be allowed to compete in the World Baseball Classic? Because
it's fucking weird.
Because you figure these teams have millions, maybe billions invested in those players at that level. And we've already had two of them go down this year, one to a season-ending injury, another to a good 2-month injury.
Yeah, about 2 months.
My position on it is not only should MLB clubs bar these guys from playing in anything like that, I wouldn't even have them playing in spring training. It's like the NFL, get rid of preseason. All guys do is get hurt.
Yeah, and like bad.
Yeah.
The Jets lost Breece Hall before the NFL season started last year.
Well, this is what has happened. If you notice the course of and I'm not trying to pick on the players here, but you look at the course of events in sports as far as free agency goes from the 70s, 80s to now, over say a 50-year period. You're seeing the clubs, and I'm playing devil's advocate here because I'm not against the players having a union, but I'm playing devil's advocate here. These clubs who have millions of dollars invested in these guys, but yet they are allowed to either play in World Baseball Classic or be in any way involved in spring training games or NFL in preseason games. Why in the world would a club? Why are you not having anyone except minor leaguers or anyone except guys trying to make the team participating in this preseason stuff? You've got millions of dollars invested in arguably the top 10, 12, 15 guys on your roster, whether it be football, baseball, whatever. Why are you even allowing them to get on the field and even risk that?
Yeah, the thing with Edwin Diaz as well is like he wasn't pitching. He wasn't batting. It was when he was celebrating. Team. He was celebrating with the team and tears his PCL. There goes the Mets closer for the entire season.
The Mets are the most snake-bit franchise in baseball. They are, well, see, I would say Cleveland self-destructs. That's the problem. Cleveland just self-destructs. The Mets will field good teams, but they are just snake-bit.
Oh, yeah, like, what was it? 2015, I believe. I think it was one of the last years I was really following. David Wright's last season?
Yeah. Well, no, look no further than last year. They led the division for 5 months and still lost, didn't even make the playoffs. They led the division pretty much the entire year and still lost to the Braves.
David. They need they're going to want someone with velocity because that's what Diaz had, was great velocity as well.
You think the Yankees are going to trade Chapman?
I don't know what the Mets got to trade for him, but I can see the Mets going, "Hey, big
No,
brother."
Diaz has been with the Mets now for a good while.
Mhm.
He's been their closer now for several years. Chapman's the closer for the Yankees
Yeah.
unofficially, but Chapman has been very uneasy the last few years. He's aging, obviously.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
Chapman is in Kansas City.
I
You're
was about to
kidding
say, I
me.
thought last I checked, he was in New York as well.
Yeah, he's with the Royals.
Might be a
I'm
little
a,
easier to get now.
well, the Kansas City Royals. They are a weird team to figure out. They're literally their Double A minor league club is 7 miles up the road from me.
Mhm.
Uh, and
Yeah, we
it's
were
a
looking into maybe seeing some spring ball before.
well, yeah, because I was thinking like, well, Maddie's coming to town, well, the Razorbacks baseball team is out of town, basketball's in another city, minor league doesn't start until May. There's no good concerts going on, so how am I going to entertain Matthew Laws when he comes to town? I'm still debating on that, but I got a few ideas.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, Aroldis Chapman to the Royals. I must have missed that one because the Royals don't need a closer. Like they're not in the market for a closer. They're in the market for a team.
They,
the
were they one of those teams that were a fuck them picks team when they won the World Series?
well they were when they got to the World Series back to back years. They only won it 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year was the Mad Bum year where he just shut him down. Then the next year was against the Mets. Uh, but the Royals, they're a move like that for Chapman seems like they're trying to compete rather than knowing their role and
Mm.
understanding. Oh, they're a long way from. I mean, Bobby Witt Jr., who was the top baseball prospect in their organization, who played just up the road about 7 miles. Got to see him a few times. Phenomenal ball player, but last year was his rookie year. I mean, he's a damn good prospect, but he ain't there yet. So the Royals making a move for that, but they could trade him if Chapman has a decent start to the year when we get to the deadline, they could move him for draft picks or pieces, what have you. So Dave isn't completely wrong there.
Mm.
Uh,
Dave is really smart whenever it comes to this analytics shit.
well, I completely believe in analytics and sabermetrics. I used to have arguments at bars with other baseball friends of mine who thought, "Oh, this is just bullshit. It's sabermetrics,
Wait,
analytics.
people
Who gives
trying
a
to argue stats?
Yeah, who gives a flying fuck about analytics, sabermetrics? Just fucking swing for the fences, throw
Yeah,
gas.
who cares who cares if they get on base every now and then? No, if they're on base, that opens up more opportunity for more points.
They were like, all it counts is home runs and batting average, and I was like,
Bro, I used
for a
when I was a kid, I thought strikeouts is all I cared about. No. You I was about to say pitchers who do soft like look at Greg Maddux. Pitchers who got the soft contact all the time were the greatest of all time.
well,
Now
those are the
Maddox could
ones.
also strike out anybody at any time.
Well, Maddox was able to navigate the steroid era because he's the professor. He understood how
Oh,
to.
by the way, thank you, Cap, for sending me that those two pictures. Because after watching the Daisuke, and I forgot, you sent me another closer, I believe. But after watching those, I ended up getting a 10-minute highlight reel of Greg Maddux just being an absolute
Well,
magician.
you mentioned his name. Here is an autographed baseball from Greg Maddux.
I'm gonna get some water.
Uh, this is one of his Hall of Fame balls. Greg Maddux is probably the last pitcher we will ever see to win 300 games. And
Yeah,
I chased this for a long time and finally found the right seller. So thank you. But yes, Greg Maddux, probably the absolute worst autograph in baseball. If you want to zoom in on that, it looks like just a big ass scribble, but it's Greg fucking Maddux, probably the last guy to ever win 300 games in Major League Baseball.
I'm looking it up real quick to see.
I don't think any active player is even close to
That's
winning
what
300.
That is what I'm trying to find. Oh damn! Tim Wakefield and John Lester both retired with 200.
Yeah, Maddux won three. What is it? I
CC
think
Sabathia was
321.
close.
I think Maddux won 320, something like that, somewhere in that category.
Greg Maddux 355.
Oh shit! I was underselling him.
Yeah, no, the 5 people who were in the 320s range. Steve Carlton 329, John Clarkson 328, Eddie Plank 326, Nolan Ryan and Don Sutton at 324.
Well, another one here for Dave since he's watching. Out of Cooper,
Cologne had 247 wins.
he played for 20 fucking years or
CC
plus.
Sabathia 251. Yeah, no, on this list, I see 0 active pitchers.
Even remotely.
Like, that is, like, not even up to 200.
Yeah. So
No. I stand mistaken. The God, Zach Greinke has 223 wins.
Yeah, but he ain't gonna hit 300.
And Scherzer last season got 201.
All right. So Dave, here's another one for you.
Verlander. I didn't even see him. 244.
Dave, can you read that?
Here, I'll zoom in on you, Cap. Boop. Solo layout.
Sandy fucking Koufax. In my opinion, the greatest pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball in the modern era. I think it's tough to go against Cy Young because that was the dead ball era, but no one tops Sandy for me. So Sandy Koufax, Greg Maddux. You bring me two pitchers other than maybe for a career. You could argue Bob Gibson's 1968 season, which had a 1.12 ERA. You can toss Randy Johnson. You can toss Roger Clemens into that argument. Obviously, I think Roger Clemens has. I said Clemens. The Kurt Schilling, I think, has argument as the greatest postseason pitcher of all time. Maybe,
dude. As growing up a Red Sox fan, yeah, no, Kurt Schilling in the postseason, a different type of animal, just like Pedro in the playoffs.
Well, Pedro, he had a 2-season period. And I mean, as you know, I've got the 2 featured jerseys on my wall are Schilling and Martinez, which makes no fucking sense being a White Sox fan. I've got 2,
Hey,
yeah.
You game recognized game, and they're 2 of the greatest pitchers of all time.
Pedro Martinez at one point there. Oh, it was Dave said so. Koufax, Gibson, Pedro, Maddux, Nolan.
Those are his top 5 pitchers.
Okay, so I'm going to move Maddux to number 2. I'm going to move Pedro to number 3.
Okay. So Gibson and Nolan at 4 and 5?
Nolan at 4, Gibson. Because Gibson, as much as I love Bob, and I've got an autographed ball of his over there, I love Bob Gibson. Nolan had 7 career no-hitters. Granted, and he also still holds the career record for most strikeouts. He also holds the career record for most walks.
Doesn't Nolan Ryan have the only no-hitter with 7 fucking walks?
I think I don't think it's Nolan. I think there was someone else that threw a no hitter that had 7 walks.
Okay, I thought that was Nolan Ryan, but before to not deviate you too much, there is one pitcher that if he gets 3 seasons of godlike performance and 3 seasons where he gets 20 wins, which is ridiculous, almost
Yeah.
impossible, but not improbable. Justin Verlander is at 244.
He's 44 years old. He has to be.
Yeah, but yeah, no, Justin Verlander, 244 wins. He is the only pitcher of the modern, like not era
Yeah.
because CC Sabathia is up there, but he's there with 244.
Yeah, Nolan Ryan and Robin Ventura, one of the most famous baseball clips of all time. Yeah. Nolan Ryan, I don't have any of his stuff because I'm not a I buy stuff of guys who either I'm a fan of or let me rephrase that. I buy stuff of guys I'm a fan of and or I want to possibly sell it later on. There's some guys over there that I'm not the biggest fans of, but I bought their stuff knowing it would go up in value.
Well, you've got a jersey up on your wall that I know Devin would just like. When you bring him in there, he's just gonna ogle it.
Brooks Robinson,
Oh yeah,
yeah, 16-time Gold Glover, and the only Hall of Fame baseball player from the state of Arkansas.
really? The only
Yep.
one.
Only Hall of Fame baseball player from the state of Arkansas. Won 16 Gold Gloves as the third baseman for the Baltimore Orioles.
That's
And
I
to
didn't
this
know he was
day,
from Arkansas.
yep, Little Rock, Arkansas. And I would say Brooks Robinson, his only competition all time would be Nolan Arenado.
I was just about to ask
Because I think Arenado, if he plays, I think Robinson has 16 Gold Gloves. Arenado has 9 or 10. Arenado has 9 or 10. I think Arenado, who also plays the same position, has a chance to eclipse Brooks. Maddox has 18 as a pitcher, but I think if Arenado plays enough years, he could either tie or eclipse Brooks.
All right,
Which,
so
yeah,
sorry to interrupt you. Last year, he made history. He is the only infielder in the Rawlings Gold Glove Award in each of his first 10 MLB seasons to get a Gold Glove.
so he's got 10.
So he has 10 as of last year, November.
Okay, so he's got 10. Brooks has 16.
Holy shit!
6 away.
So he's 6 away from tying, 7 away. How old is Nolan? 31.
La 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 la. Nolan Arenado is 31. Holy shit! I share a birthday with this guy.
He was a Rocky.
Hey, you know
What other teams was he?
Rocky and a Card.
Rocky and Cardinals.
That's it?
He was drafted to the Rockies, brought up through their farm league, and then
So if he plays with the Cardinals for 6 more years, he could legit tie Brooks Robinson, or 7, he could eclipse him. Mike Schmidt, yes. Well, Brooks Robinson, you can go back and watch his career. It is so tough to think of a better third baseman than Brooks Robinson. He had an arm and a glove. He made throws that Da Vinci could not paint. And Arenado is the only guy that I have, and you know me, Cap is a baseball fucking freak.
Mm-hmm.
Arenado is the only third baseman defensively I have ever seen that even comes close to Brooks. And I say that with pride. And anyone who disagrees can suck my balls. But Nolan Arenado is the greatest. Nolan Arenado is the greatest defensive third baseman since Brooks, and he may even eclipse him. And if he does, I will stand and applaud him for doing it because he is one hell of a talent.
Cap,
He's definitely a jersey I'll be
I
getting.
will throw up.
Mike Schmidt,
One
yes,
more.
Dave. Mike Schmidt is. I'm not debating Mike Schmidt with you. Mike Schmidt is awesome, but he ain't Brooks and he ain't Nolan.
Here, before we actually continue with that, let's just throw up some facts.
Yes.
First player to secure 6 platinum gloves, and the first infielder to begin his career with 10 consecutive gold gloves. That is holy shit.
That means every single season he has played a full season in Major League Baseball, he has not won a Gold Glove. That means that literally means he is the best defensive third baseman since he got called up to the bigs in 10 years. Like there has not been anyone better.
That means
10 years consecutively in the National League.
Field. Since he stepped foot on the field, he was the best third baseman,
yes,
infielder. Period.
Yeah, there has not been in the last 10 years. There has not been a better glove in the National League than Nolan Arenado.
Yeah. Were there platinum gloves whenever Brooks was a infielder?
I think platinum gloves came in somewhere. It might have been 20 or a little. They didn't exist then. Brooks got 16 playing third base for Baltimore. Maddox got 18 playing for the Cubs, the Braves, and the Padres. But Platinum Glove, I'm not sure honestly when that came in. I'd hate to get. I think it's more of a recent thing, but I cannot swear to that.
I got you. Platinum.
I thought it was like mid 20.
Debuted in 2011.
Ah, it was
2011?
close.
Okay.
2010.
Do you want to know the first Platinum Glove winners?
Sure.
All right. The first 2 Platinum Glove winners in MLB history were Yadier Molina and Adrian Beltre.
Oh, both my boys.
I cannot disagree with either one of those.
Well, you guys shouldn't because they won it back to back.
Let's go.
Hey, I am may despise the very fact that the St. Louis Cardinals exist, but I will not argue greatness. Yadi Molina should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Albert Pujols should be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Wainwright.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Wainwright here. What was Wainwright's totals? I'm just gonna go to his baseball reference page.
I don't dislike Wainwright, but I think Wainwright was more a product of
a great team,
of a solid organization, a great catcher.
He's still pitching. He's pitching in the spring training this year.
Did he bring a walker or a wheelchair?
I don't know. He's turning 42 in less than half a year.
So is Verlander. Verlander's got to be 42. How the fuck old is Verlander?
I'll look that up real quick.
A young 37.
He's got to be 40.
He is 40, almost on the dot. Like last month, he turned 40.
Well, I guess, as my brother likes to say, the fountain of youth is found within Justin Verlander's wife, Kate Upton.
Wait,
what?
It says Wainwright won a Silver Slugger?
Yep, he did.
So he's a 3-time All-Star, 2006 World Series MVP. Or not MVP, just World Series winner. 2-time Gold Glove, a Silver Slugger.
Which before they took the bat out of the National League pitcher's hands, which was long overdue, Wainwright was the best hitting pitcher in baseball for a year.
All right, let us.
David, if I were to see that, I would be tempted to take all of my signed Cardinals baseball items, piss on them, and set them on fire.
Ow!
Well, actually, no. I've only got Bob Gibson
Here we
and
go.
I think Bob Gibson's the only Cardinal guy I've got stuff of.
I'm a walking dumpster fire. Just toss it to your boy. I'll take it.
So
Well, no, Bob Gibson. You look at the season, and this is a little bit of history for you, young man. The 1968 season was the year of the pitcher. Bob Gibson posted over that entire season an ERA of 1.12.
Ooh.
yeah, no, it was. I remember actually doing research on that. It was insane.
Pull. Cap's going to relieve some ballast. Pull up Bob Gibson 1968.
Alrighty,
What you munching on?
pizza.
From?
I got Red Baron.
Mm.
All right, isolate 1968. Alrighty. Woo! Yeah, Devin.
I don't see it.
I know. Share this tab instead. There we go.
There we go.
It's the
Ooh.
orange bar. Orange bar. 13 shutouts.
Ooh.
Now, this was a time where
304.2 IP.
this was a point in time where the pitching, like
He
pitchers
only
would
allowed
go-
11 home runs.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, no. Cap is right. This Bob Gibson in 68 was an absolute menace.
What's IBB?
I will go over there. International base. Oh, intentional base on balls. So that's
I saw
intentional
international base on balls.
walks. Yeah, it's intentional walks.
Who pissed him off in
There he is.
1974?
Gibson was known for attacking batters who even attempted to swing at his pitches. If you pissed him off, he would bean you and then strike out the rest of the side.
Yeah, he would. 13 hit by pitches in 63, 11 hit by pitches in 65, 10 in 69. Yeah, no. If you pissed him off, he was hitting you.
And there he is.
Didn't he hit someone for or hit someone during like a Legends game?
Yep. Bob Gibson would fucking throw at you if you so much as looked at him crossways. Because he knew he was damn good enough to strike out the rest of the side. If you got a hit off of him, if you hit a home run, if you even so much as looked at him crossways at his peak, he was going to bean your ass. Don't even swing. Just take your strikeout. So there you go,
better
Bob
not
Gibson.
Make him throw more than 3 pitches. I swear to God.
Yeah, more or less. That was Gibson's attitude. As Pedro Martinez once said, pitchers hate to throw pitches. And Bob Gibson had that same attitude. I'm throwing you 3 pitches, and if you don't strike out,
I mean,
and if you don't get a hit, or if you get a hit or you put your bat, I'm going to bean your ass because you're not fucking swinging, or I will fucking knock your jaws out.
In 17 seasons, he threw 255 complete games. I wouldn't want to do that. And I enjoyed pitching. I thought it was fun.
Bob Gibson was, I think he's probably he's the only Cardinal I have any kind of memorabilia of, because not that I don't like Stan Musial, not that I don't like Ozzie Smith, not that I don't like,
Pujols bat? Nice little.
No. Not that I don't like guys like that, Gibson is the only one that just kind of resonates with me. I love the way Gibson approached the game. He approached the game. I will say this: Bob Gibson approached the game as a pitcher the same way Ty Cobb approached the game as a hitter. And even though they were separated by about 40 plus or minus 40, 45 plus or minus years of play, they approached the game the exact same way.
So, Devin
Hmm.
and viewers at home, just to show you how different pitching has been in absolute different time periods. This is the age of the pitcher back in the black and white era. Adam Wainwright has pitched the exact same amount of seasons and games as, or not games, but the exact same amount of seasons as Gibson has. There's a stark difference in everything. Only 28 complete games for Wainwright.
Well, also let's not forget Wainwright is more of a pitch to contact rather than the strikeout pitcher.
Exactly. And that does show up in his where the fuck is it? Cap, you know where that pops up in.
Oh, we've got some breaking news.
Oh shit! I gotta pop it up. Pop it up. Pop it up. Pop, pop, pop. Breaking news.
Guess who is joining a bid to buy the Washington Commies?
Walmart.
No, who's buying the commies? What? No way. I will pull this story up, Cap. You can start talking about it.
I'm concerned now.
Apparently, the group being headed to buy the Washington Commanders from DS is being joined by one Magic fucking Johnson.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Why?
What is
AIDS wasn't enough?
Good God, Dev.
It is. What is the year 2023? So let's.
Oh,
All right, here we go.
I'm standing on what I just said too. I don't care.
All right, so I'll read this real quick. Basketball Hall of Famer Irvin Magic Johnson has reportedly joined a group led by Philadelphia 76ers New Jersey Devils owner Josh Harris to purchase the Commanders. Ooh, excuse me. Johnson was formerly part of Harris's failed bid for the Broncos.
Causes Baron Red.
What was that?
I said Red Baron causes Baron Red.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, who? I did not know this. I did not know that these guys were in the bids to try to buy the Broncos. But, so yeah, in November, Dan and Tanya Snyder announced that they hired Bank of America Securities to consider potential transactions. Potential motherfuckers sell the team. Do everybody a service and sell the team.
Give me 1 second. Someone rings my doorbell.
All right. Make sure you mute yourself. Okay. So yeah, the Commanders may potentially be selling. Oh, I'm now getting more stuff of the lawsuit from November. So yeah, Magic Johnson may potentially be an owner for the Washington Commanders. And
well, now wasn't he? Now I know he's always been connected to the Lakers organization. It's Magic Johnson. I know the Buss family owns them, but has Magic ever? We know Michael Jordan recently announced he was looking to sell his shares of.
I can guarantee you everybody in Washington's asking the same thing. Especially since they traded Taylor Heineke.
Yep. Who is playing court? They traded Wentz. They traded Heineke. Or no, they released Wentz. Traded Heineke.
They signed someone. Give me just a second. I know that they signed someone. Because they had to have signed a quarterback. Otherwise,
They signed my doctor, Dr. Vinny Butts. David will catch that reference. Everybody knows my doctor, Dr. Vinny Butts.
oh, Lord.
I
Snap, are you ready?
am ready. I was born ready.
It's not a bad hire, but it's something. Brissett's never been a horrible quarterback, but yeah, he's always been one of those Jameis Winston 30 for 30 season kind of guys.
I don't dislike Jacoby Brissett by any means. I thought
I don't think he's going to fit in Riverboat Ron's scheme, though.
Well, see, here was a situation with Jacoby's never had a set spot because he filled in when Brady was suspended for the Patriots. Then he didn't
do bad.
Didn't do bad. Then he had a year as the Colts quarterback, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, let's jump back over to the NFL free agency talk real quick.
Yeah, because shit keeps coming out. I've actually got a very funny press conference to share when we get through with this one that just hit on ESPN.
Oh, who? Which team?
That laugh, I feel like it's a Bronco.
The same guy who got arrested on Dixon Street in Fayetteville.
Wait, Jalen Carter?
Baker Mayfield.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's right. He went to the... Oh, Lord.
you Maddie, you remember where Buster's was, who went for beers. Okay, Mayfield got tackled to the ground right across the street from there. The Walton Arts Center. That was where he got tackled and got face smashed into the concrete. When he was a quarterback for Oklahoma.
Oh, that's great.
Shit. No shit, Baker.
Yeah, it doesn't take Holmes and Watson to decipher that riddle.
Yeah, you guys can continue riffing about I'm pulling it up real quick. Yeah, the headline itself has me dead. Never going to be Tom Brady.
No shit.
Oh, shit. All right, so
I swear, Baker Mayfield, it's like...
So he was asked how it's been after bouncing between 3 different teams, not just last year, but, since leaving Cleveland. And he said it's definitely been a struggle. Hold on. Before we continue, can you imagine competing for the starting quarterback position with Kyle Trask?
Oof.
Baker showed good flashes in LA last year.
Yeah, he did good for some games.
I would just run with Baker in Tampa, but that's just me.
In relation to college basketball, look who's the new head coach of St. John's.
Ooh, Rick Pitino.
Former Louisville coach.
Got a lot of Italians in college basketball.
So St. John's hired Pitino, age 70, since firing Mike Anderson, who had been, he's 70 years old. They fired Mike Anderson, who was the coach at Arkansas before Eric Musselman. Anderson was an understudy of Nolan Richardson, who was the last guy who took Arkansas to a national championship in 1994 in basketball when we beat Duke with Grant Hill on that team.
Good Lord. And I remember watching Grant Hill play in the NBA, so if that doesn't tell you how long ago that was.
Well, if you
Yeah.
saw, no, let's qualify that. If you saw Grant Hill play in the NBA, you were just in the right place at the right time because he was injured for most of the goddamn span of his career.
Bro, let me tell you what. For as injured as he was, using him in any of like the NBA 2K games, the NBA Live games, Hill was a monster.
Oh yeah, always solid.
He was great when he wasn't hurt, but when wasn't he hurt?
Drive, he could play defense, but yeah, no, them knees could not hold up for that man for his life.
Don't worry, Cap. You can always just turn pre-existing injuries off, so you can still play with him.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure both of Maddie's knees are shot. My right knee is shot. Like if you guys you guys saw me we've been in hotels together. My right leg is crooked. Like my right knee it curves out. Like my right knee is fucked. But Maddie sort of walks like Terry Funk. Just put a branding iron in one hand and a towel in the other, and you've got Matty Laws being Matty Funk.
So
Mayfield will be playing for the Toronto Argonauts in 2025. Follow the Doug Flutie path to great. Doug, now, Dave. Let's not shit on Doug Flutie too much.
Does he have like a college football game?
No, Doug Flutie threw the first official Hail Mary in college football history when he played for Boston College and defeated Miami in the national championship game.
It is still one of the most beautiful passes you'll ever see.
It was 1984. I think the Flutie Hail Mary was 1984. And Flutie had a decent NFL career, but he was also following in the footsteps of the guy who had played for Buffalo for years, Jim Kelly. He was following the footsteps of Jim Kelly, so it was going to be tough to fill those shoes.
That led him to the 4 back to back, right?
Well, as I say, BILLS stands for Boy I Love Losing Super Bowls.
Oh, dude, no. Again, Doug Flutie is a dog. He always had that dog in him. He was what, like 5'10"? He was another short quarterback?
Yeah, he was a little guy.
Who could
Dev.
Row?
We got some injury news.
Oh, lovely.
NFL or baseball?
Oh, Cardinals.
Oh no.
Cardinals starting shortstop Paul DeJong has suffered a setback in his recovery and is expected to start the season on the injured list.
Oh, lovely.
So that's the IL. Is that like the 90-day or?
Well, there's two, and it's different for pitchers and hitters. There's 10-day and 60-day for pitchers, and then there's 15-day and 60-day for hitters.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's going to be starting the season out on the long-term 60-day IL.
Lovely.
Like Trevor's story, right? Out in Boston.
Oh well. While we're at it, let's pull up let's see how our boys are faring.
And since we're back on it, what does the Altuve injury mean for our draft?
I mean, Altuve was a solid player, but not a top tier guy, but just a solid guy you would like to have on your team that you're not going to have now.
And Diaz, does that injury throw off our?
He was the top rated closer coming into the season.
Okay.
So, do you have 2 vapes?
I have 3.
Motherfucker! Okay.
Super Bowl, we had what, 7?
Yeah, for the Super Bowl, we had like 7 going around.
No wonder we had so much fun that night. Okay, so if we're gonna go, we got. Let's get through MLB injuries and let's look at the WrestleMania card, then the fantasy baseball draft preview. So let's start with our brothers to the north. This is the current injury list for the Boston Red Sox.
Fuck.
Maddie, I'm glad you just took a hit so that you can take a look at this and not be crying.
Oh, Lord.
Quite the scroll. Not quite Dead Sea length, but still pretty fucking rotten. You guys got a lot of pieces hurt.
Okay, so let us share screen.
So here is the current injury report according to ESPN for the Boston Red Sox.
Okay.
Ooh.
Our relief pitcher, grade 2, right oblique strain. Ow. Garrett Whitlock, out. Does it say? It does not say day to day. Oh, no. Axton got hurt again yesterday? Axton, just get the hamstring replaced. That hamstring has not been good since I started.
Oh, your big signing from Kansas City.
Yeah, Alberto, he will not play any of the Grapefruit League games.
Your lead. No, he was going to be your leadoff batter and base stealer.
Oh no!
Mondesi is like a 40 stolen base a year guy. He's out.
Connor Wong, day to day, that's okay. Trevor Story, we all know that. Okay, hey, he fielded some grounders last Thursday, it says. But no, that fucking sucks. I know me and David were talking like that's not the biggest trade piece that we got this year, but it definitely helps. But this doesn't fucking help, especially if it's a knee injury. James Paxton needs to lay down. Just lay down. Let that hamstring heal up.
Well,
Stop
Dev,
moving.
don't laugh so fast because
no.
Should I just jump over to the Cardinals one?
no, I just posted it in the chat.
Okay.
Gold Chain McAfee, Devon, get the tables, the operating tables.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, Lord.
No, it's in the chat, Maddie.
I know I have to copy and paste it over.
Okay. Not as nearly as bad as Boston, but still
It hurts. It hurts to look at.
a couple of significant injuries.
All right. That has been updated as oh my God, why are you doing this to me?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It sounds like Chris Farley from Tommy Boy. Oh my God. New guy's over in the corner puking his guts out. Blah! Blah! And all because you wanted to save a few extra pennies.
Oh, lovely.
Yep, Paul DeJong expected to begin the season on the IL. Mark DeRosa said after Sunday's baseball win that Arenado's hand is believed to be fine. Uh-oh.
That could affect a Glover.
Yeah, I was about to say hand injuries definitely don't help that batting average either.
All right, now I'll take my medicine.
Yep, your White Sox.
I'm becoming upset with the growing number of injuries to our bullpen.
Oh no. Okay,
How bad is it?
Luckily, some of these were like from February and stuff.
Well, Liam Hendricks has cancer, so he's going to be out for a while.
Yeah, yeah. So Liam Hendricks, hey, you've got the entire like support of the RAWBall team. We're hoping you pull through, brother.
Please, just live.
Like, this is more than baseball. Just you've got this, brother.
As Utri would say, fuck cancer. But then we've got our left fielder out.
So
Our
Yo
second best reliever, Aaron Bummer, is day to day, who is likely to fill the closer role for Liam. Is hurt now, so
so
injuries are starting to rack up for the White Sox.
quick question: is Yolekwi Cespedes related at all to Yoenis?
I am not. I have nothing either
No
way on
comment.
that.
Because
I don't know.
Because
Mm.
before me and Devin stopped following baseball, like Yasiel Puig and Yoenis Cespedes were the two big names.
Yeah. In Staten.
And David, thank you for not being a Toronto Blue Jays fan, so that way we don't have to look up Blue Jays injuries right now. But
Although I did hear, David, Jordan Ramos is one of the players to avoid in fantasy drafting. So before we get into the fantasy draft, which is the big event coming up this Saturday, our big live stream on Saturday, here is the present WrestleMania 39 card according to CBS Sports. Maddie, if you want to bring
I
this
am
up.
pulling it up as we speak.
So let's kind of go through this. We've got 8 matches announced thus far. Probably going to have a couple more. Altuve hasn't really been stealing that much the last few years, Dave. Altuve's kind of cooled his jets as far as being a threat on the base paths.
Oh no, he said sign stealing.
Sign stealing. Yes. Well, okay. Yeah. With the Stros, you know. All right. So let's take a look at this. Undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Roman versus Cody. Obviously, this is going to be the headline of night 2.
Yeah, this is night 2. This is what's going to send us into the next season of the WWE.
Yeah, this is going to be the one where either Cap is going to cry or Cap is going to really cry. Because
we'll be live for it.
We're covering WrestleMania nights 1 and 2 next weekend. Not this coming weekend is the baseball draft. Next weekend is WrestleMania.
It came up so fucking quick. Oh, hey, before big news, Bad Bunny is hosting Backlash in Puerto Rico next month.
Okay.
Puerto Rico, good wrestling territory.
Yeah, I was about to say Puerto Rico's getting Backlash this next month.
Unfortunately, where Bruiser Brody was knifed to death.
Oh, absolutely horrible news, but yeah.
Well, yeah, that was also about 30 years ago. You're a little behind the.
What? that didn't just happen?
No, Bruiser Brody got killed about 30 years ago, I believe.
Wow.
So we got Reigns versus Cody. Obviously, everyone who has followed me from WrestleVault to WrestleBuddy to RAWBall knows I'm a Rhodes homer. I literally cried on Maddie's shoulder at the Rumble when Cody won because I never thought I would live to see the day that a Rhodes would win the Rumble. I feel.
You know what? I was so behind the Roman 1000. I want Roman 1000 so bad just to see people get flipped out on Twitter, but I do want Cody to win this at Mania just because he fucking deserves it.
I will be, and I'm depending on the finish because, you know, Amateur Booker of the Year 2022, the captain, me being the best booker in the business, amateur booker that is, I can see this thing going one of two ways, but just as a fan, if Cody wins, I'm going to be in tears. If Cody loses, I'm going to be in tears. Yeah, it's angry tears versus happy tears because I've been watching professional wrestling since I was 7, 8 years old.
Bro, that shit happened 10 years before I was born. That's fucking baffling.
That was a year after I was born. I've been watching professional wrestling since 1995, and I've gone back and watched shit all the way back to the Frank Gotch Hammerschmidt era.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about some shit on Tubi.
Yeah. You can go on there and you can find stuff on Gorgeous George. They have matches from Fritz von Erich, the
Ooh.
patriarch of the Von Erich.
That's Papa Von Erich.
Papa Von Erich, yeah. Uh, I've gone back to the 30s and watched stuff on Frankenschmidt and or Hackenschmidt and Gotch. I'm a Rhodes guy. I want to see a Rhodes win the championship at Mania. If it doesn't happen, I'm going to be very sad. But if Roman wins, I get it, but I'm still going to be kind of sad. But that's just
we literally have 4 different eras of wrestling fans in here. Because we've got
Yeah.
Devin, who's like 5 years younger than me. I grew up during the Attitude Era. Devin grew up during Ruthless Aggression. You grew up watching the '95 era. So
it's like so Dev was mixing batches to Becky. You were mixing batches to Lita.
No,
I was mixing batches to
Devin was
Sunny.
mixing batches to Paige.
Paige.
Okay, so we got Paige, Lita, and Sunny as the 3 ones that we were originally mixing batches to.
Yes.
And Dave, if you're a fan of Letterkenny, you'll catch the reference of mixing batches.
David,
So anyway,
Cody is being booked like Jim Carrey in The Mask. They love me. They really love me. Oh, and Dusty was my dad. And that's what I was gonna say, David. You grew up in the '80s. You grew up in the golden era.
Dave was probably mixing batches to Fabulous Moolah.
Who were you mixing batches to, David? Like, that's a weird question.
I had Sunny, Maddie had Lita, D had Paige. Who are you mixing batches to?
Cap.
Maybe Miss Elizabeth. I don't know.
Ooh, it could have been Elizabeth. It could have been Elizabeth.
So SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte versus Rhea. I think we all know where we all stand here.
We all stand on Rhea. Oh, Laura stands on Rhea.
Our baby girl, Rhea Ripley.
Mommy.
She needs this. She needs this win after what happened at WrestleMania in the Thunderdome.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also, let's not forget Rhea. Wendy Richter. Okay, all right.
Hey.
Let's not also forget Rhea was at a competition for about 2 months this year with that concussion.
Yeah.
And all the work she's done with Dom has been beyond brilliant. Dom has improved, but at the same time,
it's mostly because of Rhea being around him.
It's Triple H and Rhea pushing Dom.
Yeah. Like,
and
if Rhea wasn't there, Dom would not be getting as much, even as much attention as he's getting.
And when is the last time you've seen it take a female of Rhea's stature?
Yeah, I'd be fine with Charlotte staying away for about 10 years.
Give Rhea a run with the belt. When is the last time you saw it taking a valet or a female wrestler to push a male wrestler to the top? I'll throw a couple out there. Sensational Sherry when she managed Shawn Michaels at his initial heel turn.
Stephanie brought Test up to Triple H's level.
Yeah. So, okay. So, okay, we got Sherry Martel managing Shawn Michaels, Stephanie managing Test,
Melina with John Morrison.
Morrison never reached the main.
Well, not like that, but Melina helped a lot of people put eyes on Morrison.
Like Stephanie helped Test get to Triple H in the world title match.
Yeah.
Sherry helped Shawn Michaels get to the top.
Yeah.
Miss Elizabeth and Macho Man.
Macho was kind of already there. He made the heel turn, and Elizabeth stayed with him. I'm talking about women who pushed guys to that main event level.
I guess didn't Booker
Sherry Martel, Rhea Ripley,
didn't Booker T have a female valet whenever he jumped to the top?
his wife, yeah,
I could say Maria Kanellis with
Charmaine.
Mike Bennett.
That was in Ring of Honor, though.
You could also argue Lita helped push the Hardys because she was more over than the Hardys were.
At one point in time, until the Hardys started jumping off of shit.
Yeah, well, I was saying like 2000, 2001, Lita was more over than the Hardys were.
2000, I'd argue that the Hardys were more over. That was the triple threat ladder match. Again, the Hardys been jumping off of shit since the Hardys could jump off of shit.
True, but I honest 2001 sticks out in my mind because as I remember watching, Lita was more over than Matt and Jeff were.
Okay, Kat, you watched a little bit of ECW back in the day, right? Did you watch any of the storylines or no?
Oh yeah, I was a big ECW guy.
Beulah, would you say she helped Dreamer get to the top?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
because you had Beulah and Dreamer and Raven and Francine. Yeah. You had it was a great dichotomy there. You can also argue that Baby Doll helped get Tully Blanchard over in 1984, 85 because and get him over as a heel because Blanchard was already pretty hateable, but having Baby Doll propelled him even more into heat.
You know what's really weird? Stacy Keibler helped get the Dudleys over in WWE more so in the early 2000s after their momentum started wearing off after Bubba put women through tables.
Yeah, and I would also argue to a degree in the fading end of WCW, like the last half of 2000. Tori Wilson really helped Shane Douglas cement as a heel because pretty much every angle that was worked and somehow involved Tori in one way or another. And because he was having that great feud with Billy Kidman and Tori, because Douglas had come in, he had kind of been there, but then with Tori, it kind of pushed him to that upper level. So anyway, Bianca Belair and Asuka. Oh. Maddie, I think you were wearing your robe over your pants at the Rumble. Had you not been wearing your robe over your pants at the Rumble, I really think we would have seen some stain.
Oh.
We would have seen some stainage whenever Clown Asuka came out.
Yeah, Kana coming out really had me and Devin in shambles at the Rumble.
I knew they were going to do something, but I didn't think they were going to bring out Kana.
I didn't think she was coming back till after Mania. I didn't think she was coming back till after this show that we're talking about currently.
Yeah, as much as I'm a huge fan, I think Bianca Belair is like damn near on par as a worker as Becky. Like they are just they are a sea hair away from being equals. But I would love to see Asuka catch Becky here, or to catch Bianca, just because Bianca has started to wear on me with. Bianca needs a heel turn, and I think an Asuka win would be a perfect jump to a Bianca heel turn.
Yeah, and give Bianca, honestly, give Bianca till SummerSlam off. Give her off.
Not off, but give them like what they did. Whenever Bianca beat Becky at Mania last year, have it be a Bianca chasing Asuka till SummerSlam next year, and then see who's over and go from there.
If we're wanting Bianca to turn heel, is why I'm saying have her wait till SummerSlam and not rerun what Becky did to Bianca because that was stupid.
I was pissed.
I was mad. But have Bianca come out, help Asuka against Damage Control or something. Because God knows Damage Control is still going to be together after that. And then have Bianca turn on Asuka then. Hello, Miss Maggums.
She's just needing some attention. So next we got Lesnar and Omos.
Yeah, David's got a good point there.
Yeah, she's grown stale. Uh she needs something.
Kind of like how I was with Bailey for the longest time. I was getting
Well,
dried up on her.
the hugger gimmick is an easy gimmick to get tired of easy. Bianca, her gimmick was I'm better than you, I'm faster than you, I'm stronger than you. I'm going to fucking prove it in the ring. And she did
Chicken.
it.
Nothing dies a slower death in pro wrestling than a chicken shit baby face.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to be a baby face, you got to at least have some backbone. And Bianca has been getting to that hair twirling, hugging. It. She's walking that fine line there. So Lesnar and almost.
We don't even feel like we need to talk about that match.
I feel like
This is another cash grab by Brock.
I was about to say
Fuck you, Brock.
this match. If they opened up sports betting for WWE pay-per-views before WrestleMania, I'm throwing down like $500 that this match goes less than 5 minutes.
Cap's grabbing some beer.
Go ahead, Cap. Yeah, no.
We got Rollins, Logan Paul.
Well, I was about to say Brock Omos. Unless they have Omos do some crazy fucking like power shit that we're not expecting against Brock, that is the only thing I can see happening with this match. Other than that, yeah, no. Brock Omos.
I'm not expecting anything worth talking about in that match. Besides, that was quick.
Hey, you never know. We might see one of the greatest F5s of all time
Shut up.
in that match.
Shut up. Or the worst. And Omos crushes Lesnar.
Yeah, what if Omos crushes Lesnar? What if Omos beats Lesnar?
Do you guys really see Lesnar doing the job for Omos?
Bro, what if? What if?
If I almost said Bresner. Jesus. If Lesnar really wants to leave, I see him putting on the work and just being like, all right, I'm out.
David, you
I did what I needed to.
I would be so happy if they just let Asuka win the Raw Women's title, go over to Japan, murder a couple of the girls down there, and then just come back. All right. Omos and Brock will rival Bray and Knight for the worst of the year if it goes 5 minutes. That's why I say it has to go less than 5.
It's Brock. He's not going to go in there and Brock breaks a sweat walking to the ring, but Brock's not going to wrestle a long match.
All right.
This is just Brock wanting his WrestleMania payday, which is why I have soured on Brock as the years have gone on. Rollins and Logan Paul, though, this could be fun.
I was about to say this may or may not be the match of the entire.
Maddie, you need to get some ink. You need to get some.
I want to get tattoos so bad.
You need to get some ink going on them shoulders.
I want to get tattoos so bad, but yeah. Rollins and Paul definitely may be the match of the WrestleMania 2 nights. I won't say WrestleMania weekend because I don't know all the matches that are announced for all the other promotions. But Paul Rollins may easily be one of the best matches of the weekend.
It's Seth fucking Rollins. He is the best worker in the business. As Maddie pointed out about a year or two ago, he is the Randy Savage of his generation. He does not have bad matches. He just makes everybody he works with look that much more spectacular. This will be Logan Paul's fourth professional match, right? He had WrestleMania last year, then he had SummerSlam, Crown Jewel. This will be his fourth. And Logan Paul,
Mania, Crown Jewel, SummerSlam,
and this will be number 4. This will be
Rumble.
Logan Paul.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Well,
it hasn't
I
been
get, I get
that
okay.
good, but it's
We can
gonna happen.
throw Rumble in there because he had a good showing in the Rumble. So let's
He
call this
eliminated what, 2 people?
Logan Paul's fifth professional match, just for sake of argument. Dev made a good point there. He competed in the Royal Rumble. I think these two are going to tear the house down because Logan Paul gets it. As much as people hate him, he gets it. He's in the ring with the absolute best worker in the business right now. Uh, I think this is just going to be a sit back, pop your popcorn, crack your beer,
And just enjoy
and
it.
just enjoy it. You know, it's going to be one of those WrestleMania matches that we probably look back on and say, okay, this is how you do whatever. I'm not sure what it might be, but this is how you do whatever. This, I think, is going to be main event night one.
I think that I was just about to say that as well.
I think main event night one is gonna be Charlotte and Rhea, but that's just
I
me.
think that's going to be co-main event. I don't think there's going to be a women main event in this year.
I'm with Dev. I think this is the main event. If you're going to really push Theory, this has to main event night one.
Especially if
You
it's up against Cena.
yeah, you have Roman and Cody main event night two. You have Theory and Cena main event night one. Because as much as I fucking goddamn despise the John Cena gimmick, the whole horse shit bullshit, I fucking
Rat
hate
shit,
John
bat shit,
rat shit, bat shit, dirty old
dirty
twat.
old twat.
69 assholes tied in a knot. Hooray, lizard shit fuck. As much as I fucking hate John Cena's gimmick, I have never seen John Cena wrestle a bad match. I love, and I've always said this.
Thank
I
you, David. I fucking love you, dude.
I love John Cena between the ropes, bell to bell. I think if you were going to pick the best worker of the last 20 years in professional wrestling, you would be looking at John Cena, Randy Orton, and Seth Rollins in some kind of order. You can move them as you so choose. Throw CM Punk in there. Uh, those four guys to me have been the best workers of the last 20 years. And depending on your taste, I would put, you know, Punk one, Cena two, but that's just me. Point being, of the last 20 years, we're looking at one of the Mount Rushmores of the last 20 years in John Cena. His work, rope to rope, bell to bell, is second to none. As much as I hate the fucking gimmick, he is a fucking worker and he knows what the fuck he's doing. This is going to be Austin Theory's coming out party because he's going to put Theory over.
Oh yeah,
And I think
Cena has to put Theory over here.
and I think Cena is going to make Theory look as great as Theory has ever looked and possibly as good as he will ever look, depending on who his future opponents are, Rollins, Cody,
Cap,
whomever.
I think that last statement that you just said
Hits it
totally
perfectly.
coincides with what David just said. Because with what Danielson did with MJF is what Cena is going to do with Theory.
Yeah. Danielson, not to say that MJF, and I'm going Goodfellas here, not as if MJF needed to be made, but Danielson made MJF.
A
John
made man.
Cena, I think, is going to make Austin Theory. And I am so looking forward to this match because as much as I despise Cena's gimmick, I love his matches. And I am looking so forward. I'm an Austin Theory homer. I'm a mark for Austin Theory. So yeah. And then there's this. This is the head scratcher on the card to me. This seems like the legend grab, and Becky Lynch is just kind of getting buried in it because she's Becky, and she's. What else is Becky gonna do to cement her legacy? I mean, she's the man.
I was about to say, and I think them putting Becky with Trish and Lita is WWE going, this is the legend of your generation.
Yeah, and I completely. 110% agree. I have zero problems with that. This is just the match that I'm scratching my head in the sense that I'm wondering what comes out of this because we know Lita and Trish are Lita and Trish. We know Bailey still has years to go. Dakota Kai and Io Sky, we don't know what the plans are yet. Becky,
Io is going to have a great singles run whenever she leaves Damage Control, I think. Give her singles matches against both Bailey and Dakota. Io's going to shine.
I think, and this is 50-50 me thinking and me booking.
Booker of the year.
If I'm booking this, I am slowly building this between Rhea versus Becky at WrestleMania next year.
Mm-hmm. So give Rhea a year-long reign as well?
Give Rhea a year-long reign, but Becky is the final boss. And then you have Rhea take Becky at Mania next year. That's me if I'm booking this. The way they've set it up and put it before me, I am keeping Becky around and, keeping her relevant, but then I'm having Becky versus Rhea for the belt next year at Mania. That's how I'm booking this. Hunter could
I'm
be
gonna
doing
go relieve
something
myself.
completely different.
All right, D.
Well, at least he's not taking a shit.
Who
But
said
yeah,
I
if,
wasn't?
if I'm booking this, if I'm thinking a year ahead, I'm putting this women's division together to make it Becky versus Rhea at WrestleMania next year.
Yeah, and honestly, the only issue I have with this match is the fact that the belts are on Becky and Lita. They could have kept the belts on Dakota and Io, but they put the belts on Becky and Lita just to give Lita a title reign, I'm assuming?
Possibly, but also consider this, Matthew. Is there a more irrelevant championship in professional wrestling right now than the WWE Women's Tag Team title?
They could fish the 24/7 title out of the trash.
I mean, literally, I could go into my upstairs bathroom, jerk off, and what I would be able to show you in the palm of my hand would be worth more than the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship.
David's comment is exactly where I'm at with this.
They're not making the division. They're making a WrestleMania attraction.
Yeah, they're making it a WrestleMania,
which will draw money because everybody loves Lita, everybody loves Trish, everybody loves Becky, they love Bailey, Dakota and Io, hardcores maybe, but this is an attraction match.
Speaking of an attraction match, a match.
Oh yes,
a match that we thought we were going to have out in San Antonio.
Yes.
Whenever Devin gets back, we'll let him chime in on this one because he fucking loves Hell in a Cell matches.
As do I. When my thing with Hell in a Cell is the same in my theory with any kind of cage match, whether it be regular cage, war games, Hell in a Cell, whatever. Cages should be reserved for the ultimate blow off, finish off a feud. And this is the most appropriately placed Hell in a Cell I can think of since Edge and Rollins 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was about to say Balor took.
Which you were the guest on WrestleVault when that was our match of the year. That was the first time you and I ever worked together.
Yep. And
so kind of appropriate now that we have our own network. It's Maddie and Cap getting to call WrestleMania for another Hell in a Cell, but I think this is absolutely appropriate.
I believe it's Finn Balor's first as well.
I think they just had quite a few cells. I can't recall Balor in a cell, but I will say I'm very much looking forward to this match. Again, for the reasons I just mentioned earlier, The first time Maddie and I got to work together, it was Edge versus Rollins in a cell.
Ooh.
I was but a child when this thing started.
I remember I ordered SummerSlam '98 on pay per view, and it was Edge and Sable versus Mark Marrow and Jacqueline. And Edge came through the crowd at Madison Square Garden. So yeah, I was there for Edge's debut match. But yeah, Edge and Finn Balor. I think this is going to be a classic. Not a potential show stealer, depending on what night it's on, but I think whatever night it's on, it will be the second to best match.
Oh yeah.
Edge is his resume speaks for himself. I've never seen a bad match with Edge that I can recall off the top of my head. Finn Balor, I'm a huge fan of, and I think this is the absolute appropriate way to end this feud. Edge takes a few months off, and then we do the Edge retirement tour up until August when he has his last match in Toronto.
I'm very excited for this match. When I was using the bathroom, I completely agree with what Cap was saying with how they should be using Hell in the Cells. It needs to be like an end of a rivalry, especially if it's a big, long one.
Not a yearly pay-per-view.
Yeah, not a yearly pay-per-view.
As long as professional wrestling has existed, the penultimate, and this is the reason why, Maddie, the last time you were here, I showed you Flair and Savage in a cage. Because the comments that Tony Schiavone made before that match at Super Bowl VI said the ultimate way to settle a rivalry, to settle a grudge, has been the cage match.
Yeah.
And you save the cage for the end because no one gets out, no one comes in. It is the ultimate way to settle a grudge. And I think this is the perfect cap, no pun intended, to this rivalry. I think Edge is going to do the job. He's going to put Finn over because that's what you do on your way out. We all know Edge is going on his retirement tour. It's, you put when you're on your way out, you put guys over.
If you're smart, Hogan.
Yeah. I think Edge is going to do the job for Balor, and he is going to do it in a way that puts Balor over phenomenally. And then we have our meat slapper.
Excited for this match.
I am beyond turned on with the thought of this match.
What I don't understand is they could have totally just already started with it being a triple threat. They didn't need to have Sheamus versus Drew just to have Imperium attack them. They could have just already confirmed that it was a triple threat.
Devin, hold on.
No, Dev,
fill out how many hours of TV?
Dev, here is why you do that. Everyone knows Gunther is here. He's the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of however many days, years. Sheamus and Drew are made men. You had to have some kind of a squirrely Dan finish to make this thing happen. Because we've seen Gunther versus Sheamus. We've seen Gunther versus Drew. We're going to get all three now. You had to do it. This is good booking by Paul, and that's why I'm super. I mean, not just the participants, but this is good booking by Paul. And
you have any idea? I don't care if it's at All Out, Ring of Honor, in a fucking bingo hall. Give me Edge and Christian versus FTR anywhere, and I'll pay money to see that match.
I agree.
Anyway, getting back to this, I'm normally not a fan of triple threat matches. Normally, I either like tag teams or one-on-ones. Occasionally, a fatal four-way or a triple threat, but I'm not a big fan of triple threat matches. Here's why I'm a fan of this one. All three guys know how to work. And every single guy, they are going to... Again, I hate triple threat matches, but I love the idea of this because they are going to make this something spectacular. spectacular.
And they all know
Oh,
how
I
to
agree.
work. They all know how to work together.
A Brit, a Scot, and an Irish. This is perfect.
Not a Brit.
Well, a German,
An Austrian.
an Austrian. This is going to be such a phenomenal match.
I'm excited for it. I really am.
This is going to be a meat slapper. Chests are going to be red.
This is going
Capillaries are going to be ruptured. And I think at the end, Gunther has to go over here because that is going to cement Gunther as maybe not the number 2 in the company, but how do you take the Intercontinental title off of Gunther and not bury him here?
I don't
If
know.
you're
I don't know. With it being a triple threat, you can have him not be pinned, meaning that he can try to chase his title back.
That's possible, but I think with it being WrestleMania, with it being the show of the year, Gunther has to go over as being the guy. And you can.
The only thing
I'm not saying that Gunther doesn't drop the Intercontinental Championship to someone, Backlash, Money in the Bank, something like that, in a one-on-one to put a guy over to elevate them, something like that. But on this stage, WrestleMania, Triple Threat, they've been building Gunther so well. I think Gunther has to go over here.
And it would give him that WrestleMania shine as well.
Exactly.
WrestleMania win.
I see Butch turning on Sheamus. Tired of seeing him lose time and time again, going back to Pink Gun.
That's an out too.
The one thing I will say with this match, it has to open a show. It has to open night 1 or night 2.
I feel like it's going to open night 2.
Yep. I'm with Dev there. I think this would be this would be an opener for night 2.
Yeah, this is the match
it sets
that
the stage.
Get the crowd fucking hyped.
Oh, I forgot that was even a match.
What the hell is this? It was announced on March 17th that a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Showcase. Okay.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, I mean it would be a preliminary
3 more teams,
or a blow off. Just a second match. While people are getting their seats.
And isn't Bobby Bray off the card?
Yeah, Bobby Bray is almost guaranteed off the card, but the Usos and Sammy and KO.
Yeah, Bray is hurt. I see them moving Lashley into a triple threat with Lesnar and Omos, but I definitely see this match happening. Usos versus Sammy and KO, especially after what we saw on SmackDown
before Roman and Cody.
Especially what we saw on SmackDown last week. I think Usos versus Sammy and KO is going to be on the card.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the last entrance, and I think Lashley enters with Lesnar and Omos as a triple threat.
If Drew and Sheamus lose, they take a tumble down. If one of them wins, they stay elevated, and Gunther is ironclad. Just don't pin him. I see where David is coming from here.
Does winning the Intercontinental Championship elevate Drew or Sheamus higher than they already are?
For Sheamus, I will say one thing for Sheamus.
Yeah,
he hasn't ever won it. He's never won it.
It would confirm the Grand Slam for him. So that is the one person that would be elevated for winning it here.
I would rather see that Intercontinental Championship put on a younger fellow who is up and coming rather than a guy who is on his way out. Sheamus only has so many years left. I would put that Intercontinental title.
Would you give Sheamus the win at in Puerto Rico or in England or something?
I wanted Pete Dunne versus Gunther.
If I'm booking this, Gunther's going over. and there's no question about it in my mind because I'm cementing him as the at least number 2, number 3 guy in the promotion. But that's not to say that I would not have him drop the belt to someone. Either because I'm of two minds about this. Either I'm booking Cody versus Roman 2 at SummerSlam, or I'm booking Cody versus Gunther at SummerSlam. And it's all depending on Roman's schedule and how they're going to manage him. I'm not that clued into what WWE is doing. But I would, while I know SummerSlam, Cody versus Roman 2 would be the headline moneymaker. If Roman is going to take an extended period of time off, then I am going to have it look like Cody Gunther at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
so
I would want Cody Gunther at SummerSlam. That's the big money match.
There's two ways to look at it. You could get the rematch from WrestleMania, which is very classic, Cody versus Roman 2 at SummerSlam, or you could get Cody versus Gunther, elevating that next guy up.
I feel like Cody.
There's two ways to go about it, and it just depends on what Roman's schedule is going to be.
I feel like Cody Roman would be more for Survivor Series, but that's just me.
SummerSlam is 6 months. I mean, Roman could easily take 3-4 months off, come back, and you could build Cody Roman 2, and then have Cody go over, and then Cody versus Gunther at Survivor Series, or save that for Rumble. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can go with that.
Now, David here has something on his heel turn for Drew.
Drew turns on Sheamus, knocks him out, pins Sheamus for the title. Then you gave the hot babyface Sheamus winning his Grand Slam at the Clash. Okay,
I have no issue with that.
That's a way to go. I'm not going to poo-poo that. That's a way to go. And again, booking, you have to look at. There are variables. You have to look at. Okay, are you booking 6 months ahead? Are you booking a year ahead? 9 months? How are you doing this? And that depends on what the guys are doing. And the thing here with, Roman, Sheamus, Drew. It depends on how that's going. I can book how I would tell the guys to work, but I'm not in WWE. I can only book based on what they're giving me. But Gunther's going over, Cody's going over, and I will save. And Theory's going over, and I would save Cody and Gunther until I had Cody and Roman 2. I would possibly go for Cody Roman 3 at Mania next year in some kind of stipulation match of some kind, and an Iron Man last man standing.
Match.
strap dog. I could see that headlining WrestleMania next year in Philly. I'm not sure just yet what I would do, but I would possibly save Cody Roman 3 for Mania next year. Say Roman catches Cody in a disqualification, because I'm turning Cody heel at some point. I'm bringing
a heel run because he's great as a heel.
I love Cody as a heel. I'm turning Cody heel at least by SummerSlam Survivor. I'm going to bring in Brandy in, because no one's going to boo Cody more than unless he has Brandy by his side. That woman is instant heat.
Yeah, for no reason. She just talks and people hate her.
She just pisses people off. And that's as much as I hate Brandy Rhodes' wrestling character, that is money. That is natural, just instant heat. She pisses people off. And I'm going to turn Cody heel, but I'm going to do it slowly, and then it's going to be all in kind of one fell swoop where it's him and Brandy standing arm in arm, and it's like, okay, Cody's full-fledged heel. He's the guy that everybody's chasing, not just because he has the belt, but because he is a schmucky son of a bitch. And you can, once you turn a guy babyface to heel, you have far more matches available than turning a guy heel to babyface.
Mm-hmm.
You open up far more avenues of business. So I'm turning Cody heel eventually. It's either going to be SummerSlam, Survivor Series, 6-9 months. But yeah, he's bringing Brandy out, and that's going to be his valet that's going to instantly turn him. But that's
sticking with the bloodline. David here says that Kevin and Sammy have to win, and they have to win clean. They can't bullshit with Jimmy J doing like no twin magic killer bees bullshit.
I don't even
yes.
think they would.
I think yes. I firmly believe, David. I'm with you there. Kevin and Sammy have, if they are going to face the Usos for the tag belts at Mania.
I
Kevin
think
and
Sammy
Sammy,
has to pin Jay.
I was to say Kevin and Sammy have to go over.
They definitely have to go over, but I think Sammy has to pin Jay storyline wise.
Well, yeah, I mean, how the fall. I'm thinking broad spectrum rather than small spectrum here. Kevin and Sammy do have to go over, but here is where I am drawing some blanks. We know Roman has his match. We know the Usos are going to be facing Kevin and Sammy. It's going to happen. What's going to happen to Solo?
I
Where
was
are you
just about
putting
to say.
Solo?
Solo versus
What do you
Bobby
do
Lashley. For the
in a
sake
week?
of meat slappers.
You've
Bobby
only
Lashley beat Umaga.
WrestleMania takes place in 13 days. That's too quick and short of a match you could build at a later date and make money off of than to throw together for the sake of Mania.
So,
I know where Matt's going with this.
I was about to say, you saw what Sae Niangi said on Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Lashley beat Umaga at WrestleMania 23. Solo Sikoa's main gimmick is an homage to Umaga. There's the lie in there. It's been built up over 16 years. Solo,
You embarrassed my father,
no,
so I'm going to embarrass you.
Uncle.
Uncle? Oh yeah, I forgot he's the Usos' younger brother.
That's too much to throw at in 13 days.
It's really convoluted, but I just thought it'd be funny as shit. Plus, I would really like Solo versus Lashley. Thank you, please.
I'm not saying I would. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but to do that 13 days out, that seems very that's hot shotting.
Now, with this, I do agree with David. Gunther might be the one person that is ridiculously believable to just end Cody's reign at any point in the reign.
They're the same age. No.
Yeah.
No. They're the same age.
Cody and Gunther?
They're both 36.
Okay.
They're both over the hill. They both have a couple of years left of being legit guys. You're building theory. Let's not forget what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Theory is the guy. Cody and Gunther are the guys to get him there.
So is Cody the one to drop the belt to Theory, or do you think Gunther is going to be the one to drop the belt to Theory?
Either
Cody.
or. But let's not again. And this is me booking here. I'm not building my company on a guy who in 2 years is going to be 38 years old versus a guy who's going to be 26 and has a decade of being a badass run as a heel, being my world champion versus guys who, and Cody Rhodes, I love the Rhodes family. He's 36. Gunther's 36. These guys are just cresting.
Just wants Cody to get that Mania win for the title.
Yes, I do. For selfish reasons. And I think
Cap don't give a shit else. He can care less how the rest is booked. He just wants Cody to get the world title.
For selfish reasons, yes. And if they decide to go Roman longer, and if Roman wants to, I can see both sides there. That would be my selfish way of doing that. But at the same time, I'm looking at Austin Theory as my guy for the next decade. And whenever I put the belt on him, it's going to be from a well established guy who the people are over the top about, either as Gunther. I love Gunther so much. He's not as over as Cody. And he's not nearly as over as Cody when Cody turns heel.
Yeah.
When Cody turns heel and brings that
That
wife of
fire.
his around, he is going to be the most hated son of a bitch on planet Earth in professional wrestling. And if I were to I'm saving Theory and Cody either for WrestleMania next year if I'm half-ass hot-shotting it, or WrestleMania 2 years from now if I'm really long-term booking this shit. I think you get it. And see, this is a tough thing because I don't know what these guys are going to do. I know what I would do, but I'm going with what they're giving me. So it's tough. If I'm booking it, I'm putting Theory over Cody in 2 years at Mania. After Theory has been U.S. champion for this long, and it's going to be him over. We're going to have Cody Roman 3 at Mania next year to draw money, and then Austin and Cody at Mania 2 years from now as my big moneymaker, where I'm going to make my guy for the next decade.
Or we could have Theory as a face at that point, and like you said, it could be Theory overcoming.
No, Theory will be a face at that point because it will be Cody and Brandy basically running a Triple H Stephanie McMahon train on everybody.
I got you.
Cody. But by the time that happens, Theory is going to be the biggest baby face in my company, and Cody is going to have taken Roman's place as being the biggest heel that I've got. Yeah, but it's going to be 2 years. It's going to be a 2-year process of Cody holding that belt and then dropping it to Theory at Mania in 2 years, because I'm going to have Cody work babyface for a while, then he's going to turn heel when Brandy comes in, and then it's going to be about a year and a half of this power couple just, doing whatever. But when Theory takes the belt off of Cody, it's going to be where Theory has gone from being the ultimate chicken shit heel, which we know he can do, to becoming the baby face, and then getting the belt, and then give him some runs. And this is pro wrestling. This is what happens. It's cyclical. Guys go from being chicken shit heels to over the top baby faces and back. This is pro wrestling. It's a tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. This is how you book.
With you booking 2 years into the future with this, I've also been noticing you say belt. You think they're going to unify or split?
If I'm booking, there's one world title, there's one tag team title, there's an intercontinental and a U.S. and a women's.
No need to drag all these fucking belts around.
5 belts.
And I'm assuming you're sticking with the one brand, Raw?
Yeah, we're merging the rosters. There's SmackDown is fucking canceled. There is Raw, and then there's like a weekend wrap-up show. You have a world title, Intercontinental US, tag, and women's. That's it. 5 belts, 1 show, 2 hours, TVMA. That's if I'm booking, because that's just how my brain works.
Yeah, Theory is just naturally unlikable.
Everyone said Cena was completely unlikable, but they turned him face.
Yeah,
I always hated.
Theory was really likable in the family with Gargano.
I always despised Cena's gimmick, but I always loved his work. Somehow they turned him babyface, despite having an Eminem 8 Mile gimmick. It can be done. You can turn Austin Theory face. It takes some steps, but you can do it.
And I will agree
They've done
with
it with the
Devin.
Miz.
I will agree
They
with
did it.
Devin.
Yep.
Yeah, they did do it with the Miz. They made him a face for
You
quite
have
some
to.
time.
Here's the thing: to make someone an ultimate lovable babyface, they first have to be the ultimate hateable heel. Look no further than the Road Warriors.
I
They
mean,
were the
Randy
ultimate.
Orton as well.
The Road Warriors were the biggest heel tag team, but they got so over you had to turn them babyface. Steve Austin was the biggest fucking heel, but got so over you had to turn him babyface. Undertaker was the biggest heel bastard on the roster, had to turn him babyface because the people got behind him.
He was literally trying to kill the baby faces on the roster.
Exactly. You turn your ultimate hateable heel babyface when they get so over that the crowd has started chanting for them rather than against them, and it's a very fine line. WrestleMania 13, the double turn between Brett and Austin. Austin came in as the heel. Brett came in as the babyface. When the match ended 30 minutes later, they had swapped roles. And that is exactly how you do a double turn. You have a double turn match with Theory where he faces just an ass kicking bruiser like a Gunther, a
Pete
Sheamus,
Dunne.
a Brock Lesnar, where he just gets his ass kicked. But at the end of the match, the crowd has done this. That is how you make a babyface superstar in a double turn like that. And you can do that with Theory. You build him up as the biggest asshole on planet Earth, but then in one night,
I mean, shit. Did you see how the match with Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar went at Survivor Series? They were
yep,
both heels, so they had to end up cheering someone. And Daniel Bryan just his offense against Lesnar just had the crowd immediately.
exactly. Well, that's another thing. You could book Theory against Lesnar. You could start a program with him and tell Brock, hey, you've been making a shitload of money off this company for a long time. You're going to put our guy over, and you're going to put him against Theory in a last man standing, I quit, some kind of
Give him the
whatever.
Lesnar Rollins rub because
Give him that rub, and where Lesnar goes over, but either Theory doesn't tap, or the match is stopped due to blood loss, or something like that.
or Theory
Yeah,
just stops moving because of all the suplexes.
yeah. So you have to have again Brett Austin WrestleMania 13. You have that ref stoppage either due to blood loss. The same thing they did at Starrcade 1984 with Flair and Dusty Rhodes. They stopped the match because Dusty was bleeding so bad. One of the easiest ways to turn a guy babyface to heel. He has fought this big bastard for so long and so long and so long, and he has given it everything he has, but he's losing. He is a crimson mask, as Gordon Soley would say. And the referee stops the match because of blood loss, but he never got pinned. He never tapped. And that is how you can turn Theory face with the proper build.
I apologize. I'm just looking up
David,
if there's any other moves.
I appreciate your opinion there. I'm if you would have take the name Theory out of that and put the name Austin in there. Austin won't work as a face. It will be like fitting a square peg in a round hole. He's naturally unlikable. I would have agreed with you up until WrestleMania 13. I would have agreed with you in other situations. But when you do the turn right and you book it right, it can be done. Not, I'm not throwing shade on your opinion, but it can be done. You just have to do it right.
Oh, the Colts got Gardner Minshew.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's their starter. Fuck Lamar Jackson. We've
Detroit
got we've
Lions
we've
signed,
got porn stash. We've got porn stash and jorts ready to go.
Detroit Lions have signed Chauncey Gardner Johnson.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday. I just wanted to get that out there because I don't think we talked about it. Cap, you go ahead and start looking up the baseball fantasy predictions or projections.
Well, I was going to say, Cap's going to drop some ballast, and I'll
More.
be right back in about 30, 45 seconds.
Let's see if the Ravens have done. Nope.
Oh, we haven't done shit. Don't worry about looking us up for a minute. We haven't done Jack Diddley.
Haven't done shit in about 20 years.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I have not seen the Ravens once on here. Let me see. I think
Probably won't for a while.
I don't know if since last week the Baker Buccaneers have been Baker Mayfield to the Buccaneers for $8.5 million. We talked about him earlier.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I think we covered most of what happened in the football recently.
Yeah, Cap said Darius Slay re-signed with the Eagles, 2 years, $42 million. I don't think we talked about this. The Broncos, we signed Samaje Perine.
No, we haven't talked about
A
that.
bruiser of a running back.
Who did he just play for?
He played for the Jets, and I believe, where did he play? Samaje Perine.
I just had, listening to that, the ultimate headline for Skip and Shannon week 3 or week 4, whenever the Buccaneers have started 3 or 4-0. The Baconeers from Skip Bayless.
The Baconeers.
The Baconeers. Imagine a world where with Baker Mayfield, the Buccaneers start 3-0 or 4-0. Skip Bayless is going to come on that show. On this is now the Baconeers.
I will lose my shit. Oh, by the way, I did look.
Maddie will have a stroke.
Cap, we do play the AFC East this year. The West plays the West and the East this year.
So that means we have to play the Patriots.
That means Jacoby Myers is probably going to put up 150 fucking yards on the Patriots.
Well, I said whenever I had no clue who our quarterback was going to be, we were going to win 3 to 4 games.
Hey, Devin, aren't you? No, you're in the North.
AFC North, yes.
I believe that means you guys play the South this year.
Okay.
I will say, having not knowing who our quarterback's going to be, I gave us 3 to 4 wins. I will say with Jimmy Garoppolo, if he stays healthy,
you guys are
doesn't get arrested in a brothel, doesn't fuck up, I think Jimmy Garoppolo takes us from a 3 to 4 win team to an 8-win team, 7 to 9 being sort of the best worst case scenario. But I think with Garoppolo, we're an 8-win team, maybe 9 or 7. But we lost Darren Waller. We have no defense. We have no offensive line. We've got Jimmy, a running back, and a wide receiver, and that's it. I think we're an 8-win team, 9 wins at best, 7 or 6 at worst. Just mediocre.
My earbuds are having a seizure.
Yeah, they are. I can hear it going right now.
No, I'm a realist. I'm not a pessimist. I'm a realist, and I look at our team and I'm thinking, okay, Garoppolo gets us 7 to 9 wins. Could be more, could be less, but somewhere in that.
Yeah, Garoppolo is easily going to lead you guys to a decent season this year.
No, 7 to 9 wins is not a decent season. 10 to 12 wins. No, 10 to 12 wins is a decent season. 12 to 14 wins is a good season. 16 to 17 wins is a great season.
Undefeated.
I think with Garoppolo, we're a 7, 8, 9 win team somewhere in that category.
My earbuds have left the chat.
Earbuds are dead.
So, fantasy baseball draft this weekend. Matty Laws is coming to Fayetteville. We're going to be live streaming our draft here on YouTube. It's going to be starting at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So it's going to be pretty interesting. We've got 9 guys in the league this year.
Shoot me that link, by the way. My neighbor might want to join in.
Could make it 10.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, just give me his fucking email address.
I can give you his phone number.
Okay. Well, don't do it. Don't do it over the air. I don't want to.
Oh, I won't do it. I won't do it over the air.
Do it once we get off.
No.
Do it once we get off. Shit, that's an oxymoron.
Ooh.
Yeah, once we get done here, just shoot me his info, and if he wants, in, I'll get him a spot in. But at the moment, we're looking at 9 guys, $500 rotisserie league auction draft, 6x6 category. Now, Matty did this last year, but he was driving. I've been doing this since 2008. David is very familiar with auction rotary style drafts.
And this is Devin's first ever.
So, Dev, we're
draft.
We're gonna pop your cherry here, Dev.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, grease up that butthole. So here's how I'm looking at the draft order is just straight alphabetical by last name. So the draft starts at 1 p.m. The first person up is my buddy Steve Champagne. He is going to nominate Joe Schmo for $1 or $2. And then it's going to roll down the list by alphabetical, which the draft order is him, Maddie, Dev, Casey Lilly, Dave McKinnon, my brother Justin Orr, myself, John Rice, former host of the WrestleVault podcast, and another newcomer, Caleb Ward. So that's the order of the auction. So it goes $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, and whoever bids the most that doesn't get outbid by the person below them gets the player. This goes on for 26 rounds. But you have like 30 seconds between bids.
Yeah,
maybe and it decreases like you've got 30 seconds between rounds, 15 seconds between bids. So it does tend to go fairly quickly. 9 guys, I think Lester, what was like 2.5 hours?
I was driving. I was in and out of that draft.
So yeah, 9 guys, you're looking at 2.5 hours. And you have $500 of play money to spend on your team. And you can spend your money however you so desire, but once you're out of money, you get auto drafted. So you want to conserve money. And another trick of the trade is never nominate someone that you want. You want to throw guys out there that you have no desire for. Put $1 or and more specifically, someone you think who's going to be a bust. You'll throw $1 out there on whomever and let people bid on them, and then when it comes your time, just pass.
Like throw $1 on Jordan Montgomery.
Yeah, it's you get to build your team the way you want. And then once the draft is over and you have your team, free agency starts, and you have $150 again of play money to last you from then until the end of the season. Although you can make trades and include free agent dollars as part of those trades. So it can be like, I'll trade you Joe Smith and Mike Jones for dipshit Montgomery and 20 free agent dollars.
Yeah.
So you can accumulate more free agent money, but draft day is 26 rounds. You have $500 to fill your team. And it's, I love auction drafts, and Dave can back me up on this because it takes luck out of the equation. Because unless you are paying attention and watching what's going on, it's
It's
not like,
literally the
a lot of,
monopoly of fantasy drafts.
yeah, like snake football drafts, which I fucking hate because you can literally be just passed out asleep with your hand over your balls and be handed a Super Bowl winning team.
Yeah.
With this kind of format, it you have to be engaged. Otherwise, your team is going to suck balls.
Now, who would you say are the top 10 projected fantasy picks?
I'll give you my draft board right now. Okay, so here are Cap's top 10 fantasy players coming into 2023. Corbin Burns, starting pitcher, Milwaukee Brewers. Sandy Alcantara, starting pitcher, Miami Marlins. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., infielder, Toronto Blue Jays. Fernando Tatis Jr., San Diego Padres infielder. Kyle Tucker, Houston Astros outfield. Juan Soto, San Diego Padres outfield. Max Fried, Atlanta Braves starting pitcher. Freddie Freeman, Los Angeles Dodgers infield. Aaron Nola, Philadelphia Phillies starting pitcher. And finally, Yordan Alvarez, Houston Astros designated hitter. Those are my top 10 players overall heading into the draft on Saturday. I may have just revealed more than what I wish, but for the sake of the show, those are my top 10 players heading into the fantasy season. And how much I will pay for them, I already have marked, and I will not tell you how much I would pay for them because that would reveal a bit. But those are the guys I have ranked 1 to 10.
And is there like a surprise sleeper, like a player that you would not expect to be that good fantasy wise that you're going to go after this year?
A surprise sleeper. I'm scrolling through my list here. I've heard a lot of shit thrown at Michael Harris II, saying that he's not going to repeat, but I think he is a solid baseball player. I've also seen some shit thrown at Stephen Kwan, outfielder for the Cleveland Guardians. I think he's a solid player. I think Bobby Witt Jr. continues to uh, develop and progress. Um, Tommy Edman for the St. Louis Cardinals, I think, is a very interesting pick. Um, I think the absolute breakout fantasy player this year, if I were to just be looking at my rankings and saying the guy who is going to break out, regardless of pitcher or hitter, is going to be the catcher for the Baltimore Orioles, Adley Rutschman.
Okay.
This kid has been the highest touted prospect in baseball for the last 2 to 3 years and the number one catcher prospect for the last 3 to 4 years. And he had a pretty good call up last year. And the Baltimore Orioles, they sneakily were pretty damn good last year. They didn't make the playoffs, but they were sneakily pretty damn good. And I think Adley Rutschman could be the absolute breakout player of 2023. I could be wrong. I could be right. But if I were to pick a guy in my board that I'm looking at who could be the absolute breakout, I think it is Adley Rutschman, a close second to Adley. I'm going to go with. I'm kind of fucking torn between these two guys. I'm going to say a close second, and this is going to be tied for this second position is either going to be they're both starting pitchers, one for the Seattle Mariners, Logan Gilbert, the other for the Minnesota Twins, Pablo Lopez, as being fantasy studs that could be picked up this year for less than what they could deliver.
And
So
one more thing I did want to ask about was the injury. With Edwin Diaz being the top prospect for closer, who is now going to be the number one closer prospect?
my number one closer prospect is Emmanuel Clase for the Cleveland Guardians.
Okay.
And I would put behind him Andres Munoz for the Seattle Mariners. And coming up third, a guy who has been the top closer in baseball up until last year, Josh Hader, who is now the closer for the Padres. Hader was traded from the Brewers to the Padres last season. Hader went through some very significant personal issues last year. At one point, he and his wife thought they were going to be experiencing a miscarriage,
Oh,
which
Lord.
eventually turned out to not be the case. The baby was born healthy, but
That's good.
given
The stress of everything.
the stress of not knowing if your child's going to be born at all, he had a pretty rough year, and the Brewers traded him to the Padres, and he still was not that good. But Hader has been the top closer in baseball for the last 3 to 4 years, and given that Padres lineup, which we discussed on our second or third show, that
Ridiculous.
Padres lineup,
Yeah.
Hader could very well be ready for a bounce back year unless there is some underlying issue we're not sure about. But I would put, if I were gambling right now, I would put it as Clase number one, and then Munoz and Hader, depending on where you want to take a chance. Clase is your most reliable closer right now, and then Munoz and Hader, depending on, do you want to go with the team that has the best lineup or the team that was one of the most surprising in baseball last year next to the Orioles, the Mariners, who for 1 year, as Urinating Tree would say, did not kick their fans in the dick. Speaking of Tree, MLB opening day, March 30th, we're going to be doing the stream against suicide prevention, which is going to be a very fun evening. We're going to be watching the Chicago White Sox and the Houston Astros opening day, doing a live stream, and every single dime that we raise is going to be donated to suicide prevention, a cause that is near and dear to all three of our hearts, as well as Trees. Hoping we can make this a tradition. Opening day, we're raising money for that. But that aside, that's what I'm looking at. Pitcher breakout, whatever wise. Any ideas you gentlemen have as far as who we should be considering, or are you just trying to steal my draft board from me?
I would say
There's the Dev hair. There's what we've been wanting to see.
I would say that Josh Bell,
I love you,
I
but
would
that
say
doesn't mean I like you. Halloween is going to be so much goddamn fun.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, yeah.
And we don't have to blush him up too much because he's already kind of rosy cheeked.
He is very rosy. Dev is very rosy.
I do have very rosy cheeks.
You do it. You have very well. I haven't seen your ass, but I'm looking at your face.
White as all hell.
Oh no, Devin's ass is white as
White
the
as snow.
fucking moon, as the moon. It's bad.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I had before. Oh, nice one, Maddie.
I do have 2 money parlays down for DraftKings for us this weekend, or for this week. My Monday parlay, I've got the Avalanche to go over the Blackhawks in hockey.
Homer.
Shush. Joel Embiid to double-double and the 76ers to win. That is a player double. Steph Curry as well to double-double and the Warriors to win. I've got the Knicks to go over the Timberwolves in the NBA. And that does it for today's parlay.
So I'm going to throw one last thing out there to all three of you guys, since we're going to be doing our draft in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. It's your first shot on the clock. Like, you're the first guy to throw a bid out. Like, because this goes in alphabetical order. You're on the clock. Who are you throwing out first as the first bid?
Adam Wainwright.
Dev?
I'm gonna be honest. I really don't know. I might throw Verlander. I don't know, one of the older guys.
Well, I'm throwing out the shittiest piece of shit I can find on the draft board because, as I told you, never nominate someone you want.
Was Joey Votto still good?
He's good for batting average. That's about it. Julio Franco for $1. David,
Yoshida. I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
Masataka.
Well, see, this is the thing. Like, if I know, and this is like strategy, like late in the draft. If I'm running low on money, but I see Matty has money, I'm going to start throwing out Red Sox to try and get him to bid higher on them.
Bro,
Same as with
my
Dev.
stupid ass might bid on fucking Tebow still playing, isn't he?
Oh, God, Christ, I hope not. Fucking Tebow.
I'm gonna draft Bo Jackson.
You would throw.
I know I gave last week my three biggest guys on my shit list of professional wrestling: Vince McMahon, Jim Herd, and Kevin Dunn. But if I were to give my biggest shit list on professional sports, Tim Tebow would be, or just on sports in general, Tim Tebow would make my top 3 shit list.
What did Tebow do to you?
Well, let's see here. You were 10 years old when I was dealing with that son of a bitch just dominating the SEC.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And winning Heisman trophies and national championships, and all the while flashing Bible verses and, circumcising children in Africa. Hey, that's what happens on RAWBall. You burp. Yeah, if I were to name my biggest 3 shit list guys in professional sports, Tim Tebow would be up there, probably top 3. I would probably have to.
For me.
Who?
Skip
Bayless.
I do not like
athletes.
Skip Bayless.
No, that's commentators. I'm talking athletes.
Oh, I thought you just said as a whole.
No, just professional sports. Athletes as a whole.
What about Ozzie Guillen? How do you feel about him?
Love Ozzie Guillen. I think baseball misses a guy like that. As controversial and as full of shit as he was, and politically incorrect, and as much as I disagree with him, baseball needs a guy like Ozzie Guillen to stir the shit pot.
Baseball needs more fuck you.
We won a World Series with him. So, Ozzy has issues, and I'm not saying I agree with his positions, but man, does baseball need a shit stirrer like Ozzie Guillen. I would probably put Floyd Mayweather up in.
I like Floyd.
I liked Floyd up to a point.
I hate Floyd Mayweather. Our parents lost money because they bet Oscar De La Hoya was going to beat Floyd Mayweather.
All-time professional shitheels of my life. I would probably say Tim Tebow, Floyd Mayweather, and this is in no particular order. Tim Tebow, Floyd Mayweather, and uh,
Urban Meyer?
Urban's close.
Jay
Urban's
Cutler?
pretty. Jay, I could give two shits about.
Deshaun Watson?
No.
Patrick
Ur, Ur,
Mahomes' stupid brother?
no. Again, guys who have touched the field.
I know.
Um, it's. Oh God, it's pretty tough. Pretty tough to say. I know Urban's close, but I know I'm forgetting someone who I would rather see dismantled and drawn and quartered.
Phil Sims?
No.
How about the OJ fellow?
Well, as Maddie knows, I'm a big true crime guy. You can see the library. There's not just these two bookcases, but there's a whole other uh, over. Well, which fucking this camera's reversed. I've got three fucking bookcases, and I've got about a half dozen books on the OJ trial. And I actually wrote a thesis at one point on the OJ trial. I will not say whether I believe in his guilt or innocence, uh, but no, OJ again as an athlete, just strictly as an athlete and as a commentator, he, was a phenomenal running back and was a pretty good commentator. As far as what happened with the criminal trial and everything, I'm not going to get into that. That's soup for another Sunday. Um, if I were going to go for a really big shit heel,
Bill Romanowski?
Antonio Brown?
AB's up there with Urban Meyer. Oh fuck! I'm looking at my library over here, trying to think of who I would cast into the depths, just the pits of hell, as absolute scumbags and schmucks. I would probably, and this is no bullshit. The Chicago White Sox owner Charles Comiskey. He was the owner of the team during the Black Sox scandal, and I've got several books on the subject over here. And I would honestly say, had Charles Comiskey not been the owner of the Chicago White Sox during the 19 teens, the Black Sox scandal never happens, because he literally was the worst owner. And I've said this before, in an era of scumbags, and there were a shitload of scumbag human beings that were either owners or influential people in Major League Baseball in the late 19 teens. Charles Comiskey was despised by the scumbags. Like even the
people hated him.
Yeah, even the lowest of the low hated Charles Comiskey, and I would blame him for the Black Sox scandal in 1919, because had he not been such a pathetic shitbag of a human being, we would have never gotten the 1919 Black Sox scandal, where the team threw the World Series against the Cincinnati Reds in a 9-game World Series. If not for Charles Comiskey, I really think baseball would have one less large black eye against it, because the more I've read, the more I've studied, that team does not throw that World Series if Charles Comiskey is not the owner. They literally won the division, won the American League, came back into the dugout to months expired champagne. He charged them money out of their paycheck to have their uniforms cleaned. He screwed one of their best starting pitchers out of a $10,000 bonus. He had a contract that said if he won 30 games, he would get a $10,000 bonus. He purposely told the manager to not let him pitch a certain amount of games so he wouldn't have to pay the bonus, who was one of the legendary 8 men out who threw the World Series. If not for Charles Comiskey, I would put him in number 3 in that shit list of mine, partially being a White Sox fan, but literally in an era of scumbags, he was hated by the scumbags because he was that fucking pathetic. So Charles Comiskey, Tim Tebow, and whoever else it was that I named.
Now, I'm not too knowledgeable. Tim McCracken, is that a hockey guy?
I was thinking of Ernie McCracken from Kingpin. Didn't I tell you to call me Ernie or Big Ern for my morning coffee? Claudia, we had some great times, didn't we? I know back in Chicago, you haven't forgotten. Claudia, I'm in 1103.
All right.
Is there?
Have you guys never seen Kingpin? Jesus Christ!
I haven't seen it in so damn long.
I think I've seen it maybe once.
You know what?
Movie you're gonna have to show
at this point in the night, you know, I'm fucking old. I'm fucking tired. I'm fucking hurt, and I work with fucking children.
You got 10 years on me too, so. But
by the way,
also just don't watch movies.
Minnie's Bagels from the south side of Chicago, the best baked goods you can possibly get. I'm sorry, Dev. You walked into it there.
Is there anything?
Maddie and I literally were hosing beers and chaining cigarettes watching the CM Punk media scrum after a 3-day alcohol binge. And at that point, we were like, fuck it. We're just going to fucking watch CM Punk. And we stood in my kitchen just chaining cigs, eating potato chips, and drinking beers. Like, fuck, this is goddamn awesome.
I was baffled because Tony Khan's just sitting there going, oh, okay.
Poor Tony in any of the media scrums. He looks so scared for his life that all the...
Because he knows any one of those guys, even Dave's boy fucking Twinkle Toes McFingerbang could whip his ass.
He looks so petrified when MJF, after beating Brian.
After CM Punk, that Swerve went out there and was just fucking with him too.
No, that was before. No, you're right. No, Punk came out first, then it was Swerve, then it was Jericho.
Yep,
you're right.
It was a very interesting night for old TK that night.
I literally thought at that point I was so worn out, and because it had been 4 days of Maddie and I just fucking getting hammered and 2 days of constant PLEs and watching wrestling, I was about to the point where I was going to collapse. And then he threw on the CM Punk media scrum. I was like, got my second wind here.
Speaking of AEW, I'll just hit them real quick. It's seeming like they're going to be setting up for the 4 Pillars Fatal 4-Way for the next pay-per-view. So that is MJF, Darby, Jungle Boy, and Sammy Guevara.
MJF goes over.
Oh, easy. Yep. But it's just very... I find it very interesting that they're going for it now, but it's one of those things that I don't care when it happens. It just needed to happen, and I'm looking forward to it.
And Dave, to your point, Shoeless Joe and also the shortstop for the so-called Black Sox that year, You could argue Shoeless Joe should not have been suspended for life because he hit 368 in that World Series. So it's tough to say he was throwing it.
Yeah, he was
And
trying.
and the shortstop, I forget the gentleman's name. I'd have to consult the book on it, but he had not the most tremendous offensive series, but he was defensively he never botched a play. So of the 8 guys who were eventually cast out from the Black Sox team, 2 of them you could argue shouldn't have been. The other 6 were ringleaders and originators of it. Shoeless Joe and the shortstop. Shoeless Joe was playing center field at the time, so the center fielder and the shortstop you could argue um, should have been exculpated from that. But the other 6 guys, for good or ill, took money, and yeah. Uh, if you really want to, watch a great movie, not documentary, Ken Burns' Baseball does a great story on that, but also the movie 8 Men Out, which came out in 1988-89. Apart from some minor Hollywood dramatizations, some minor ones, tells that story pretty well. So if you want to see what happened with the 1919 Chicago White Sox, watch the movie 8 Men Out. It's actually presently free on YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube movies, 8 Men Out. It's free right now, getting ready for baseball season. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours, but while it's Hollywood, it's pretty damned accurate.
Fucking hell. The Knicks are getting their asses handed to them by the Timberwolves right now.
I don't know why you put the Knicks over the T-Wolves.
Because they were the Timberwolves are 4-point underdogs.
If you want to know who the Spanos is of the NBA, it's Dolan of the Knicks.
The Knicks.
Dolan, he is such an arrogant prick that he's an amateur musician, and he literally hired the Eagles to play Madison Square Garden, but subsequently put his band as the opening act. They are it's oh Christ. I'll show you when you get down here in a couple days. God damn it.
Oh, speaking of, I did finally find out what the fuck pickleball is.
You didn't know what pickleball was?
I didn't
know what pickleball was.
I didn't know how it was played. I've heard about it.
I played that shit as a kid.
So what pickleball is?
You played with your pickle as a kid, but do you know what pickleball is?
I'm pretty good at both pickleballs. I know what I'm doing.
So pickleball apparently is like tennis, but they use a wiffle ball and like ping pong paddles.
Yeah, it's fun as shit.
And it's like a faster pace, I guess. But dude, I saw people playing it, and I was like, this is interesting, and it does not sound like a wiffle ball.
No.
It sounds like they're hitting a tennis ball.
George Steinbrenner, possibly you could throw into all-time schmucks of professional sports, just because the way he fucked around the Yankees for 25 years until he lucked into a great team and a great manager. Now, whenever you say pickleball, I remember an incident hanging out with some buddies of mine, and there was this dude named Ray who had a larger than average appendage. And at the time, I had a jar of pickles in my fridge, and we're all just kind of talking and hanging, bullshitting. Maddie knows, like, my rec room. We're watching the TV, whatever. The kitchen's kind of off to the side. This dude walks over with his appendage in a jar of pickles and is like, "Hey, anybody want a snack?" So from then on, his name became John. His name became John Pickle.
John Pickle.
Bro, like, that shit would have to burn. Like, there's no way that was comfortable. Like, he had to do it for the bit and then take it out, right?
This dude had a pretty high pain threshold, and he kept that. Let's call it the length of this beer can flaccid in that pickle jar for a good 30, 45 seconds. So props to John Pickle for doing that. But I always hated pickles, but I kept them around because I had friends who liked them. But after that, nobody wanted them because.
Ooh, that's one way to play hockey, I guess.
I bet.
Jesus Christ, Dave!
Jesus fucking
I
What
play
the
smear,
fuck is
smear the
wrong
queer
with
on.
Canadians?
I play smear the queer on the street. We called it Scorpion.
Whoa! So you've already smear the queer.
Do you not know what
Uh,
that is?
It was an old football game. It's literally whoever's holding the ball, everybody
Everyone
storms
tries,
him.
and you get the longer you hold the ball, the longer you become like a winner. And then at the end, whenever everyone else is all hurt or done, the winner is whoever had the ball the longest.
Yeah.
And then we'd play
Dev,
that on the street, and we'd call it Scorpion.
It's violent as shit. Yeah.
Dev, you have made so many comments tonight that I do not even know how to approach or address.
And we'll end it with that.
So hold on though. Street hockey with plastic bags, like a kid catches that upside the head, that is a massive lump on the head, right? Ugh.
I do gotta go soon so I can start cleaning.
Yeah, I was about to say we have reached the 3 hour mark. I think this is the first show that's reached 3 hours.
Yeah?
So we have
Haven't
gotten
got
through
anything?
a lot.
Is she frozen? Oh, no.
No, I was answering a message from a buddy in our baseball league. Yeah, we hit the 3 hour mark, and it's like every week we're like, do we have enough material? And then it's like we just kind of start chatting, and it's like we keep going a little bit longer every time. Hey, we take our blue chew before we start the show, and we go longer, we go harder.
Yeah, I was about to say this week I was like, so other than a little bit of football news, baseball news, there's not all that much. We took that first or we took that WrestleMania card for like an hour.
Yeah?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
We're-
WrestleMania. I mean, this is RAWBall. We cover wrestling plus sports. It's what we do, and then we, just do other shit that tickles our fancy.
Yeah, it was just the which segment took the longest? Was it the Mania?
Could have been Mania. Could have been,
Or the
I
this
think it was
last
the
one.
baseball. Just the baseball topic as a whole. Fantasy, what's going on with injuries, signings, and whatnot.
We never know what we're gonna do.
Hey, you know what?
I'm
As
glad.
long as we can get over that bar, bro, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
At the very least, you're going to get three guys who actually know how to talk and how to work and can provide a good show.
We've got 3 good hours of sports entertainment in for you.
With no ads.
Yeah, no ads, but plenty of smoke and drink.
Yeah.
But with that, Cap, go ahead, plug with whatever you would want to for the rest of the show.
All right, coming up this Saturday, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, the Fantasy Baseball Draft. We're going to be doing it live here on YouTube. Me, Maddie, Dev, my brother, Caleb, Dave, everybody.
Dave,
We're going
do
to
you want
be
us to shoot you a link for that so you can be with us live?
doing the live baseball draft. Podcast next Monday. Obviously, this weekend we got Sweet 16 and Elite 8. And then next weekend,
Will do, David.
WrestleMania
We
nights
got
Yes,
1
sir.
and 2.
we got a busy next 2-3 weeks.
Oh, you damn right we do, because we be raw balling it. We
We
always
don't
be
just shoot off
busy.
the hip. We nut off the hip.
And let's also not forget, before we get to WrestleMania, we have next Thursday, March 30th, opening day of MLB baseball. We're going to be doing a simul stream with Urinating Tree, the stream against suicide. It's a cause near and dear to all of our hearts. We're going to be watching the Chicago White Sox and Houston Astros kick off the MLB season. We're watching the entire game, streaming it live, and we're going to be setting up a method where you can donate money. Every single cent that we raise is going to suicide prevention. The hashtag 988 hotline, which is the new 911 for suicide prevention. Every dime we collect is going to them. Uh, it's a cause that's near and dear to our hearts. We're combining it with baseball, and it's something we're all very proud to be involved with, and very proud to raise some money for. Um, and I honestly, I cannot think of a better effort, uh, a better way for us to manifest our efforts than to try and raise some coin for a very good cause. Because, as we all know, life is precious, and as I, used to say on a previous network, take care of yourself, take care of someone you know, keep us all here, because one decision can affect the lives of many others. So that's my spiel. That's what we're working on.
All
March
right.
Madness, fantasy baseball, suicide prevention awareness, opening day, WrestleMania. And I cannot wait to see what Maddie is going to do when it comes time for horse racing and the Triple Crown. Uh,
I need to go
that's
find a jockey outfit. I think that's what I need to do.
you know honestly, and I'm almost afraid to do this. As much of a degenerate gambler as you have become, I think once you get introduced to horse racing, you are just going to go from here to about right in and around meow.
I don't
You
even
you are going to go to Casa Bonita levels of degenerate gambler once you discover horse
I don't
racing.
even know how to bet on horse racing, really. So I'm going to be looking into that.
You're
Watch
gonna
what
look at the
I,
funniest looking
I will say
horse.
this, because the first leg of the Triple Crown is in May, the Kentucky Derby. Watch the results of the Florida Derby and the Arkansas Derby. Those are typically the two big horse races that lead up to the Kentucky Derby. Um,
Just got
so
it, David. Thank you.
so yeah, and also, well, we won't be able to do it this time, but Oaklawn Racetrack, uh, about 2 hours south of where we are right now in Hot Springs, Arkansas, is the horse betting mecca of the state of Arkansas. Um, and literally, you just hang out there all day, get fucking wasted, and lay bets on horses. And they literally have them in the corrals and the stalls.
So I can look
And
at the horses beforehand.
yeah, and you can, whichever one takes a shit beforehand, and you want to see which one's going to be the lightest coming out the gate. But
I'm
yeah,
looking for the one with the smallest ankles.
or the one with the biggest cock, whichever. And also horse racing holds a very special piece in my heart because my mother passed away. What is this? Actually, it'll be 2 years ago. Come May, she was an equestrian. She kept horses the whole time I was a kid. She rode horses. She loved horse racing. I learned everything about horse racing from her. And it was a tradition every year that her and I would watch the Kentucky Derby together. Whatever was going on, we always watched the Kentucky Derby together. So, and every year I make a $100 bet in her name on the Derby. So that's another reason why horse racing is very near and dear to my heart, because It was my mother's favorite sport. She got me into it. So when the Derby rolls around, Cap is all happiness and glee and love to Mama Linda. Uh, hey, it's time to watch the horses run, the greatest 2 minutes in all of sports.
And as a Broncos fan, I do like horses running.
And our grandma was a huge fan of it too. Bless her soul.
And neither one of your quarterbacks can cook.
I mean, I've heard people say that the Danger Witch wasn't even spicy, so
Ah.
I'm sad with that.
I ain't got nothing to plug. Matt?
I have absolutely nothing to plug. I'll just remind everybody to stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, and always remember to ball out with the Raw Ball podcast.
We'll see you all Saturday afternoon. Love you all.
And there we